Triple Flix. Mafia.
Woo! Chatty Bobby, aka Mr. Magoo, in the building. 11:30. And everybody's been hitting me up wanting me to do this, so I have been putting it off, and it is time to get it done. Be sure this is a long video. I don't know how long you'll notice it, obviously, if you're watching the finished product. This is my complete horror movie collection. Now, that's pretty much all I collect now. I've got a handful of 4K titles that are not horror, and a handful of Blu-Rays or DVDs that aren't horror, but for the most part, it's only horror in my collection. Now, it's really all I care about. I love it. It's my favorite genre, and I've got a ton. I've got over 700 movies. We're going to go through the Scream Factory first. We're going to go through Arrow, Vinegar Syndrome, Synapse, Blue Underground, Vestron, Severin, and then we'll just go through my regular horror movies that aren't boutique lines. And we're going to get right into it, man. But before y'all do that, be sure to subscribe to the Triple Flix Mafia channel in the description box. Be sure to subscribe to Johnathan Ivey in the description box. And be sure to subscribe to the Homeboy Slasher Junkie in the description box. Subscribe to those 3 channels if you hadn't already. Those are the fam bam. And let's get it on, baby. Mills Lane. Woo! Okay. First, we're going to show you the Scream Factory Collector's Editions. Now, I have every single one except for one, which I'm going to get. It's just not one I'm in a hurry to get because it's not a title I'm excited about. And that is Frankenstein Created Woman. That's the only one that I don't have. I'm going to get it. I'm just going to wait and find it when it's cheaper. Other than that, my Scream Factory Collector's Editions are complete with slipcovers, at the exception of that one. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. 10 to Midnight. Now, I'm not going to go through the Collector's Edition features. Unless, well, shit, I guess I will. We'll just make it a long episode video. There's 10 to Midnight with Charles Bronson. And some of these I haven't got to watch, but a lot of them I have. There's the artwork on the disc. There's that alternate artwork. That came out at the beginning of 2019, I believe. Artwork was by Joel Robinson. Got a 4K scan, interviews, all cool stuff, new commentary, all kinds of cool stuff. I'm actually not going to go over the features. It's going to take too long. Next up, we have Army of Darkness. Good old Bruce Campbell. I'm not the hugest fan of this movie. I think it's cool. I'm not like super into it. I like it though. I've got the other Army of Darknesses. Or the other Evil Dead, sorry. Paul Shipper did the artwork on this one. This is 3 discs. You got disc 1's the theatrical version, disc 2's the director's cut, disc 3 is the international cut. So it's Army of Darkness. Now, obviously, we're gonna do these in parts, but next up we have one of my favorite Scream Factories, Assault on Precinct 13, John Carpenter classic here from 1976. James Raheem Davis, David Levine did the artwork for this. One of my favorite Scream Factories. This is one of the older ones that had the blue border at the top, which I wish they would have kept going with the whole entire line, but they didn't. This movie is so good. It's not even really a horror movie, but it's Scream Factory, so we have to categorize it as such. But love this movie, man. Love the music, the score in it's amazing. With this being one of the older collector's editions, it doesn't have a lot of features on it. I got a couple of interviews, but it's a great movie. Next up, we have Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I thought this one's pretty cool. I had never seen it up until I purchased it on Scream Factory from 2007. And there's that alternate artwork that y'all have probably seen before. And there's the disc art. I think my boy Joel Robinson, yep, Joel Robinson, who's a super cool dude, man. We've met him multiple times at horror conventions. He's super down to earth, awesome dude. He's my favorite as far as the artwork, fellas. But Behind the Mask, it's a pretty solid movie, man. It's got an original take to it. Next up, we have Black Christmas, one of the first slashers. Joel Robinson did this one as well in the artwork. This is from 1974. Sorry. That artwork's great. I'm a big fan of this one. I know this one is kind of dated, but I still enjoy it, man. It leaves some questions unanswered. I'm also a big fan of the remake as well, Black Xmas. But love that one. That's Black Christmas. Next up, we have John Carpenter's anthology Body Bags. I enjoy this one, man. I don't enjoy every story. The gas station story, obviously, is my favorite. I wish that would have been a feature-length movie. But I still really do dig this, even though the other two stories are cool. The one with Stacy Keach on the Hair episode, the movie, and then which was okay with Mark Hamill. But yeah, I enjoy this one, man. This is another one of the early Scream Factories. This is from 1993. Justin Osborne did the artwork for this one. This is a really dope artwork as well. It doesn't have alternate artwork on it, but it's Body Bags. They're pretty much getting all of John Carpenter's movies, man. It looks like. Next up, we have Bubba Hotep. I thought this one was cool. I wasn't a super huge fan of it. I still enjoy it. It's got some funny parts to it. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's Bruce Campbell. It's like an Elvis impersonator. I mean, look at him. It's got some funny parts to it, though. It's not nothing I'm in love with or nothing, but I think it's cool. Joel Robinson again on that one. Tons of special features on this one, including a new commentary with the author and new interviews with Don Coscarelli, Bruce Campbell, and more. So, Bubba Hotep. Next up, we have The Burning. One of my top 5 favorite Scream Factory releases from 1981. Absolutely love this movie. I hate that it was one of the earlier ones. It didn't get a lot of special features. And I've had this one since OG days. And what's scary about this one is that if you look, that slipcover is starting to lose the adhesive, which sucks. But one of my favorite horror slasher films that Scream Factory's released. David Levine did the packaging. I guess that means he did the artwork as well. But love this movie, man. The Burning. Next up, we have Candyman, which I'm a fan of as well. This is a huge edition of this. It's a theatrical cut and the unrated cut. We watched the unrated one. Joel Robinson did the artwork on this one. 1992 Tony Todd classic right here. And then there's that alternate artwork. If you hear that dinging in the background, it's me, Tony, and Jordan and Paul's group chat, most likely. But yeah, Candyman, awesome. Next up is one that I enjoyed also, and that's Carrie. I know this one got like another. Did this one get a separate artwork? I can't remember. I'm not one of those. As much as I'm a fan of Scream Factory, I don't go after the toys, and I don't go after the alternate slipcovers. I never went after those. I don't collect the steelbooks either. I'm not a steelbook collector anymore. But Carrie, you see there. This is when they started doing the feature film on one disc and the special features on the next one, because they started really going deep, going ham with the special features. 1976. Disc 1 is just the 4K scan of the original movie. The negative and the trailer, and then disc 2 is all kinds of new stuff, interviews, commentaries, cool stuff like that. Horrors, Hallowed Grounds, all that kind of stuff. Super creepy movie, man. Next up is Cat People. Haven't watched this one yet. Again, I'm just a completionist, and I collect all the collector's editions. This is one that I got because I needed it. I'll eventually watch it. I've heard it's kind of weird. It's super weird. Really cool slip cover to it. Got some nice artwork on it. David Levine again did this one. This is from 1982. Malcolm McDowell. So I haven't really heard a lot of people that enjoyed this movie, to be honest. This was kind of an odd release for Scream Factory. This was early on though when they first started. So got that one. That's Cat People. Next up is Child's Play. This slip is not in the greatest condition, but it's cool. Justin Osborne did the artwork on this one. This is from 1988. I also have, you'll see later in the video, that I have the Child's Play Blu-ray collection set. But this edition is really cool because it's got a lot of features on it that's not on the other one. Transfers better too. This slipcover looks like Yokozuna kind of sat on it, I ain't gonna lie to you. Disc 1 is here as a new 2K scan. You got a new audio commentary with Tom Holland, who directed it. And then disc 2 is a ton of special features there. If you see it there, it looks like a Yokozuna kind of sat on it there, but it's all good. Child's Play. Wasn't really a fan of the remake though. I mean, I'll watch it again. I'll get it when it gets cheap and watch it again. But Here's another one that's not considered a horror movie, but I thought it was great. Class of 1984. This is from 1982. And Justin Osborne again. He did a lot of these early on ones, but he did a great job as well. You see the alternate artwork. Some of these earlier ones was Blu-ray DVDs, and some of them weren't. This is like a cool like suspense thriller. This is kind of along the same lines as like Assault on Precinct 13 and stuff like that. But we are the future and nothing can stop us. You get Michael J. Fox in here as well. Actually, it was just Michael Fox there. And again, that was an older one, so there's not a lot of features on it, just a couple here and there. But now here's one that was super random that they released, but I thought it was cool because this is a terribly cheesy action movie with horror elements, and it's got Uncle Sly in it, and that is Cobra. The only thing that sucks about this is it doesn't have different artwork. I don't know if it was a rights thing, but they just have the same artwork that's on the original release. This movie's so cheesy and bad, but I'm a fan of Stallone. Mindy King did the design on this one, looks like. This movie is from 1986, and with this one you get 2K scan, you get new Meet the Disease, you get an interview with actor Marco Rodriguez, you get some other interviews. Of course, Stallone's not involved in it, but he's too busy being the man. That's Cobra. Next up is The Craft. Now, I've seen The Craft. I haven't watched this since I got the Scream Factory. I've seen it years ago, and I thought it was pretty good. This is a mid-90s. Joel Robinson again did the artwork on this one. 1996. It's one of those mid-90s horror movies. You got interviews with the director and co-writer and all that kind of cool stuff. You got an audio commentary, I think, that was ported over. But everybody remembers that. You know, Fairuza Balk, Robin Tunney, Nev Campbell, and Rachel True. That's a cool, like, alternate artwork, or well, the original. And I thought Joel did a really good job with this with the new artwork. So I'll get around to rewatching that one. I just haven't. I've got so many on my watch list. That's The Craft. Now this next one is amazing. I consider it collector's edition. I'm assuming that's what it is, even though it doesn't say it. That is Creep Show, and it's got that really cool hard box edition. And you take it out here. Let's see here. Laz Marquez did the artwork for this. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really a big fan of this artwork. I wish that Joel could have got a hold of this one, because I think he could have done a lot better. I don't hate it or anything. And there's the Creep Show, you know, like comic, which is awesome. And then here's your alternate artwork for just the original. And then you've even got different artwork on the other side, which is cool. So you get 3 different choices there to. This one has a 4K scan. It looks great. Me and Skaggs got to go see this at Full Moon Cineplex, and there was a Q&A with Adrienne Barbeau afterwards, and she didn't really remember anything from the movie. But this movie's great, man, and they did a good job with this release. It's just weird because it doesn't say collector's edition on it, but it totally is, as far as I know. I consider it one. Where are we at? We're already 13 minutes in, and this is going to be a long video. Creep Show, man. Next up, we have Cyborg. Very random choice. I don't know sometimes what goes through Scream Factory's head when they announce collector's editions. Cyborg getting a Scream Factory collector's edition release, really kind of, I didn't understand it. I haven't ever seen this one. It's obvious I'm going to watch because we're in like an 80s action movie kick right now. This is from 89. But it's not a horror movie, and there's barely any features on it. I don't know how it got a collector's edition. Look at that cover, though. That's amazing. Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's not one of my favorite action stars. I like some of his stuff, obviously. That artwork's cool. I will say that. The CRP group did that one. But I don't know, man. I guess we'll get to it at some point. But it was just kind of a random choice by Scream Factory to release that one. But that was Cyborg. Next up, we have Darkman, which I enjoyed. The score is a complete ripoff of Batman Returns. It's got a complete ripoff. That score is. Gary Pullen did the artwork for this one, 1990. But I like this for what it is. Again, it's not a horror movie either, but it's cool. I like it. It's got a good amount of features too for it being an earlier Scream Factory release. You got commentary, interviews, and all that kind of stuff. In the early on Scream Factory releases, they didn't do a lot of the features. Next up, we have Dawn of the Dead. I was a big fan of this remake, man. Big fan of it, and still am. It still holds up. I'm one of the people that wasn't over the moon about the original Dawn of the Dead. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. I would like to rewatch it though. It's been several years, probably 5 years since I've seen it. But this is one that Nat Marsh did the artwork on. And on the artwork on the slipcover here, I want to say this was 2004. Yeah. This has got some good features as well. It's got a disc, it's 2 discs. You got a theatrical and an unrated version. I don't know the big difference in the 2 versions, but I've just been watching the unrated. I watched all the features for this, and it's even got some old features on it. It's got interviews with James Gunn and some of the actors as well. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead remake. One of my favorite releases from Scream Factory, Day of the Dead. This old school, one of the first ones they released. Nathan Thomas Milner did the artwork for this one. He did a great job in the early going for Scream Factory as well. This one has a documentary, which is really cool. It's called World's End, The Legacy of Day of the Dead, which I've watched. I think it's great. Big fan of Bub in this one, you know, obviously. And there's the original artwork there. And this was just the Blu-ray, which you saw a lot of those old school Blu-ray releases and DVD releases had that artwork on it. It's Day of the Dead. Next up, we've got David Cronenberg's Dead Ringers. This one is okay. This is another one that I just don't understand why they released this in a collector's edition. I thought it was okay. It's kind of boring at parts. I didn't hate it or anything. But it was just one that I just kind of thought was just all right. Mindy King did the artwork for this one. This is from 1988. And yeah, I can't, unless you're just a collector of all the collector's editions, I can't recommend to get this one. It's not terrible or anything. It's just it was just kind of boring, but, and that artwork's kind of whatever too. So, Dead Ringers. Next up is one of my favorites, Deadly Blessing, Wes Craven. 1981, David Levine did the artwork for this one. Another one of those earlier releases. I'm a big fan of this movie, man. I've watched it probably 6-7 times in the years I've had it. Anybody that follows my channel remembers me getting a huge Amazon haul back in 2014 and got tons of these with the slips back when they first started. That's kind of where I got going with them. But Deadly Blessing's great, man. But another one, barely any features on it. I'd love to see another version from Arrow in the US or something that would give a lot more features, because I love that movie. I'd love to see more stuff on it. Death Becomes Her is the next one. This is Mindy King did this one, 1992. This one's pretty good, man. It's not a horror movie. I used to watch this a ton when I was a kid at my grandparents' house. But yeah, man, it's nothing great, but it's fun. You know what I mean? You get Bruce Willis, Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep. Robert Zemeckis, of course, was behind this movie. And it's got a making of featurette. I haven't watched it yet. It'd be cool to watch that one. It's just not high on my watch list, my rewatch list, since I've seen it so many times. Next up is Dog Soldiers. This movie's great, man. And like everybody knows, with Scream Factory's release of this Blu-ray transfer on this is really bad. As weird as it sounds, you're better off watching the DVD transfer. I don't know if it was just the way the footage was when they found like the negative of the movie or what, but the transfer is just not good. It's really dark and it's just not that great. This is from 2002. Nathan Thomas Milner did this one. You get a making of Dog Soldiers, which I need to watch that feature. I heard it's pretty good. And then you get a commentary and some other stuff on the back. But great movie, just they didn't really do a good job of transferring the Blu-ray for some reason. Next up is Dolls. I'm a big fan of horror movies that involve dolls. I just think they're creepy as shit. And this is a good movie too, man. This is 1987. David Levine, Nathan Thomas Milner did this one. This is what I always remember seeing in the on VHS at the video stores when I was a kid, and it used to scare me to death. I never watched it as a kid, but yeah, Dolls. I actually wouldn't mind rewatching that here soon, man. It's been a while since I watched that one. Next up, we have Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Hammer horror. I'm gonna get them because they're collector's editions. And I will watch this. I haven't watched it. It's from 1966. Mark Maddox did the artwork on that one, and it's not good artwork. I mean, it's kind of just a picture. a still from the movie that they just put a little artwork around. But yeah, maybe I'll get more into it the more that I watch of the Hammer stuff. But this has got a new commentary and a new 4K scan, and then another audio commentary with Christopher Lee in it. So a lot of people are super into the Hammer, like the old 60s horror. I'm not. Maybe I will eventually get more into it, but it's Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Next up, we have Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell. This is one of the best jobs artwork-wise. CRP Group did this one. They do a great job too. I don't know if they're still with them. And then, of course, that's the original. I thought this movie was cool, man. I didn't think it was great, though. I had never seen it until I purchased it on Scream Factory. It's a weird one, but I still enjoyed parts of it. And it's got tons of stuff on it, man. It's got a 2-disc edition, unrated on disc 2, and theatrical disc 1. And then you get a couple of new interviews, though. Nothing really crazy, though, on the features. But it's still a cool release. That's one that you can usually find fairly somewhat cheap. Next up is one that I really liked, man. That's Dreamscape. It's more of a sci-fi. It's kind of like a 80s version of Inception. Not as confusing as Inception. You know, as much as I like that movie, it confuses the shit out of me. Paul Shipper did the artwork on this one. This artwork's pretty cool. It's got that old 80s, it's got that, cheesy 80s vibe to it, which I like. And then I really like this artwork too. I guess this is the old one. And but this is one that I just always looked over when I was collecting these, putting my collection together. And I finally got it and we watched it and I thought it was cool, man. You get a good old Dennis Quaid in here. You get a 2K scan. You get a retrospective including brand new interviews and a lot of other cool stuff. So if you're into like old like sci-fi stuff, I think you'd like this one. It's Dreamscape. Next up we have the Entity, or like we call it, the Titty. Because Entity's so hard to say, so we just say the Titty. Jordan and Tony didn't like this one. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great. I used to remember seeing this artwork too, and it's about a ghost just raping a chick for a long time during the movie. It's creepy, but it's very rapey, and it's a long haul too. It's an hour and 125 minutes. Joel Robinson did the artwork on this one. It's got a couple of new interviews. It does have a new commentary with Daniel Creamer, who's the author of Sidney J. Fury, Life and Films. So there's that. That's the Titty. But again, it's not one that I wanted to like it more than I actually did. Next up is a classic Carpenter flick, man. Escape from New York. Just such a great movie, man. You get Paul Shipper and David Levine on the artwork for this one. 1981, such a fucking good year for movies, especially in the horror genre, even though this isn't horror. But this is a must-own release, man, if you're a collector of Scream Factories. If you're going through this video and you're not trying to get them all, and you're just wanting to get, a handful, if you want to get started, you got to get Escape from New York. Any of the Carpenter ones, I would say get. Because they do such a good job with the features. The scans of them are awesome. You get a new audio commentary with Adrian Barbeau and Dean Cundy. Then you get the one with Carpenter and Kurt Russell. And then another one with the producer, Deborah Hill. Disc 2, you get a new look at the special effects. You get tons of stuff on this one, man. And this is another early one, but they still did a good job with the features. It's Escape from New York. Next up is one I haven't watched these yet. We're gonna go through these and watch this franchise within the next year or so, and we're gonna watch them all. And that is Exorcist 2: The Heretic. Or The Heretic. Haven't watched this one. This is from 1977. The CRP Group did the artwork for this one. That artwork is not good to me. That I remember seeing as a kid as well. I haven't heard a lot of great things about these Exorcist sequels, honestly. But we're going to get through them. We're going to watch them all, So this is one that we'll watch at some point. It's got new commentary and 2 cuts of the film, 117 minute and 102 minute. So that's Exorcist 2: The Heretic. And here's another one that I haven't watched, but we'll get to. I heard it's bad, though. Exorcist 3. There's that artwork there. I had that Exorcist box set, and I had never watched. I watched the first one, and then I've seen one of the other newer ones that they put in there, but I hadn't seen 2 and 3. Yeah, they're just determined to release these Exorcist films. This is from Joel Robinson, the artwork on this one. This is from 1990, so this was several years after Part 2. A lot of different features on this one as well. Again, I haven't watched it yet. We're going to get to that series at some point. This next one I really enjoyed, man. That is Firestarter, Stephen King Firestarter here. This is the CRP group that did the artwork on this one, 1984. You get a young Drew Barrymore. She did a great job in this one. I think this movie's a lot of fun, man. I had never seen it until I purchased the Scream Factory. I remember always seeing this artwork, but I had never seen the film. And watched it, and I thought it was cool, man. I thought it had some really cool effects. I thought it was creepy. I liked everything about it, man. I thought I had fun with it. And with this, you get a new commentary with the director, Mark Lester, and new interviews, plus the scan on it's cool. It's a 2K scan, not a 4K, but it's Firestarter. Next up is another one that it put at the top of the list if you're trying to start a collection. The Fog. Oh, man. One of the best Scream Factory releases, period. Such an amazing movie. 1980 John Carpenter flick with Jamie Lee Curtis. Justin Osborne did the artwork on this one. Such an amazing film, man. So creepy. Got such good atmosphere to it. There's not really anything bad I can say about this movie, man. It creeps me the hell out still to this day. And the cool thing about this, with it being an older film, they still did a great job with the features. You get a new commentary with Adrian Barbeau, Tom Atkins, and more. You get a Tales from the Mist, Inside the Fog featurette. You get several featurettes. You get an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis, which is really good. It's like a 12, 15-minute interview. So definitely recommend you getting The Fog. Finding it with the slipcover is going to be really tough, though. It's probably going to cost you $50, $60. But if you just want the film, you can get it for 12 to 15. Next one is H.P. Lovecraft's From Beyond. Really enjoyed this one, man. I never really got into these H.P. Lovecraft films, and I watched this, and it's batshit crazy, man, but I loved it. I loved the effects in it. It had a very creepy vibe to it as well. This is from 1986, and it doesn't even tell me who did the... Oh, there we go. David Levine. This cover art is amazing. If you're into like Reanimator, sorry, stuff like that, I think you'd really enjoy this one. That's H.P. Lovecraft's From Beyond. It's got a lot of features on it as well. Next up, this is a tough little fucker to find. That is Funhouse with the slip. This is one of the first Scream Factory collector's editions that they put out. 1981, David Levine again with the artwork. This movie's so creepy, man. Tobe Hooper, I think it's great. You know, it's kind of, a lot of people aren't like huge fans of it, but I love these type of horror films that take place in like carnivals or amusement parks or fun, you know, anything like this. I'm a fan of this vibe, and it's creepy, man. I enjoyed it. I know that there's another version of this that I may end up picking up from, I can't remember who put it out. Y'all tell me in the comments. I know it's on Ronin Flix website though. But yeah, I may end up getting that because it's gonna have more features. This doesn't have hardly anything. An old commentary with Tobe Hooper and an interview, and that's pretty much it. But great movie, man. Funhouse. Next up, I haven't watched this. 1987. I heard it's garbage. Garbage Pail Kids. This is kind of like a Pokemon situation. I'm getting them all. And this is one of the ones I had to get. Luckily, I got it cheap during Scream Factory sale, and they actually had the slipcover with it, which I didn't think was going to happen. Yeah, Garbage Pail Kids. I heard it's god-awful. You get new interviews and all that good shit, but really, it's Garbage Pail Kids. Like, who gives a shit? Moving along, we got Ginger Snaps. Big fan of werewolf films. I like this one. We watched this one in the last year or so, and I liked it, man. It was from the year 2000. David Levine and Cliff McMillan again did the artwork and packaging and stuff. This is when they were doing the Blu-ray DVD combo packs. It's kind of like Scream Factory gets in these little like pockets where they'll do a certain way with the Scream Factory collector's editions, and then they'll switch it up, you know, every so often. This one has several interviews and like a commentary and stuff. I don't know if the commentaries are new because I never owned this movie before, but it's Ginger Snaps. Next up, we have Eli Roth's Green Inferno. Now, I'm a fan of this movie. I think it was kind of weird that they already gave this a collector's edition. It came out in 2014. I'm not a person, as much as I love horror movies, I'm not a fan of cannibal films. I don't want to see animals getting killed and shit like that. Like, I've never seen Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox. No, I don't want any part of those. This is about as extreme with cannibal films as I can get, and this is toned down. This comes with the soundtrack, which I'll never listen to. But, I mean, this artwork's really dope. Really, really dope. I want to say Devin Whitehead did it. Yep, you can always tell. 2013, I'm sorry. And it's weird because, like, it doesn't have a lot of, like, tons of features on it. It's got a new interview with Eli Roth, new interviews with the cast and crew, and it's got a commentary that was ported over from the Blu-ray and then some behind-the-scenes stuff. But hopefully they'll get the original Cabin Fever that he did, because I thought that movie's great. That'd be a great, like, collector's edition, I think. But that's Green Inferno. Next up, we have Halloween 2, which was, I believe, this one and the next one were the first collector's editions that they did. I mean, what else is there to say? This is my second favorite Halloween film in the franchise. Absolutely love this movie, man. 1981. David Levine and Nathan Thomas Milner did the artwork. And then you get the old school artwork. You get the television version and then the other disc. This movie's so good, man. And it's got so many features on it. It's got the theatrical and the television cut. It's got audio commentary. It's like The Nightmare Isn't Over, the making of Halloween 2, which is such a good documentary. It's on YouTube if you don't have the movie. But the first two that I would suggest you pick up would be this and the next one I'm going to show you to start your collection. Now, finding it with the slip's going to be tough because, again, you see mine's kind of got some damage to it. But this is amazing. This is an amazing movie and a great release of it. That's what got it going, man. And the next one also is the one I love, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. A lot of people shit on this movie because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. Totally understand that. But as a standalone movie, I think this movie's so cool. I mean, I know the vibe is kind of like a Goosebumps episode, like Ivy said, which I could see that, but I just love the vibe of this movie, man. The music, the score that Carpenter did in this is so creepy, bro. This is from 1982. David Levine and Nathan Thomas Milner did the artwork. You get two commentaries, standalone making of Halloween 3, which is a really cool documentary as well. I recommend you get this one, man. But just if you had never seen it, just go in knowing and Michael Myers had nothing to do with it. Obviously, they were going to go into a direction where every year they did something different, and they were not having it. So that's Halloween 3. It's 32 minutes, and we're not even halfway through my collectors. This is going to be the longest video ever. Next up, we have Hell Night. Man, I wanted this movie to be so amazing. I liked it okay, but it was just a big tease at parts. There was no titties in it, which, come on, man. Come on. It was still creepy at parts, though, but it could have been, I was kind of disappointed in it. I still like parts of it, though. It still has a creepy vibe to it. But again, this is a newer one that they put out that doesn't have a lot of features on it. It's got a 4K scan, and it's got interviews with the crew, and that's it. I mean, it's from Justin Osborne did the cover art. This is from 1981, another 81 film. It's Hell Night. Let's go back there with it. Okay. Another one that we got that is a newer one. This is from 1999. Joel Robinson did the artwork. That is House on Haunted Hill. I thought this one was cool. It gets ridiculous at the end, but I like the vibe that these late 90s, early 2000s horror movies had. And I thought this one was cool. But again, it's not nothing great or anything. And it doesn't have very many features either. But it's House on Haunted Hill. I would like them to get 13 Ghosts. I think that'd be really cool. Or The Faculty. That'd be dope. One of my favorite werewolf films of all time, The Howling. Definite must own if you're trying to start a Scream Factory collection. 1981, again, Nathan Thomas Milner artworked it. This is one that almost everybody that's watching this probably has. It's one of the first ones that they put out. The practical effects in this are so cool. The werewolf scenes are terrifying. Like right there, it's just terrifying, man. It's got a commentary and a cool little like making of multi-part documentary. So that's The Howling. Next up, we have John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. Now, I had never seen this movie. And I heard it was one of his weaker ones. And when it came out, I was excited because I was like, cool, I'll get to watch it. It'll get the Scream Factory treatment. It's got a 4K scan. The transfer is amazing on it. Dude, I had a lot of fun with this movie, man. It's not one of his best ones. It's from 95. It's got like a Metallica, like the score in it. It's like a Metallica vibe because it's that rock vibe to it, but I still like the score. This artwork's crazy. Joel Robinson did the artwork on, or no, yeah, Joel Robinson did the artwork. I thought it was fun, man. I had fun with it, dude. Again, it's not one of his best ones, but I really enjoyed it. That's In the Mouth of Madness. It's got a good amount of features on it, too. It's got new Horrors Hallowed Grounds, which is dope. It just sucks because a lot of those Horrors Hallowed Grounds, man, there's nothing there where the stuff used to be. That's kind of like that was. But that's In the Mouth of Madness. Next up is one called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I had fun with this one. Tony and Jordan did not. They got rid of theirs. This one does kind of drag, though. It's an hour and 15 minutes. It does drag. Justin Osborne did the artwork. Get Donald Sutherland in there. There's the old school artwork. I used to see it at the theater or at the video store as well. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, I'll be honest, but I thought it was creepy, man. It just kind of drags. But that's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Next up, we have Jeepers Creepers. Huge fan. Love these movies. And there's the original artwork. And then get even different disc art. I just love this whole idea for these movies, man. Part 3 is dog shit, though. 2001. Justin Osborne and Cliff McMillan did the artwork. This one, you get a new audio commentary with the writer-director Victor Salva, the child molester. God, dude. So fucked up. Then you get a look back at Jeepers Creepers. I need to go revisit these features. I watched them when it first came out. I need to see them again. There's a lot of cool stuff on here. That's Jeepers Creepers 1. And then they did such a cool thing with both of them. Jeepers Creepers 2. 2003, this one came out. This was also Justin Osborne, Cliff McMillan. Commentary there with Victor Salva. Now, this doesn't say it's new. You get a Creeper commentary. You get Jeepers Creepers 2 Then and Now featuring new interviews. Tons of features on these, man. They did a good job with the Jeepers Creepers movies, man, as far as giving them the proper release. Like I said, I saw this one in the theater when it came out. It was scary as shit when he was jumping on the bus and stuff. Next up, we have Lake Placid. Now, this movie, I'm a huge fan of creature features, obviously, if you watch my channel. This movie's ridiculous, bro. But it's fun. It's ridiculous, though. I mean, it's not a well-made movie at all. But I still have fun with it. I'm a fan, like I said, I'm a fan of creature features. I like it better than Anaconda, honestly. Most people don't, but 1999, David Levine and RP Kung Fu Bob O'Brien did the artwork. All right, one and done there. Barely any features. You get new interviews with Bill Pullman, Steve Miner, and the director of photography, Darren Okada. But yeah, that's going to be a tough one to find with the slip as well. Next up, we have Land of the Dead. I'm a fan of this one too. 2005, the CRP group did the artwork there. I think the artwork on that's okay. Huge fan of this artwork, the original. This is another one that's got the unrated and theatrical versions on separate disc. You get lots of features too. You get you get tons of new interviews. You get commentaries and all that cool stuff. If you're a fan of Romero stuff, man, that's another one to get. Land of the Dead. Next up, we have Lawnmower Man. This is another one that's kind of rough. I'm not gonna say I enjoyed it, but it drags though. I only watched. There's two versions. From 1992, there's a theatrical cut, which is 108 minutes. The director's cut is 141 minutes. I did not watch that one. The 108-minute version drug to me, so I can't imagine what the 141-minute version does. It's got some creepy parts to it, man. It just kind of drags. It's not like a super rewatchable movie, honestly, but it's still got some cool, creepy parts to it, and the transfer on it's awesome. That's Lawnmower Man. Next up, we have Life Force. Tons of titties. Tot in this one. Tons of titties. Kind of boring. Sci-fi. But David Levine and Cliff McMillan did the artwork for this. It's a very, very hard one to find with the slip. Now, I don't have the collector's edition. I have the Blu-ray DVD combo. Apparently, there was some kind of... Well, it said that there's the collector's edition. There's some kind of other version of that. But it's got an audio commentary with Tobe Hooper, who directed it. Not one of his best movies, but it's still got some cool parts. It just kind of drags a little, and it's only 101 minutes. There's two versions. There's a 116-minute version, but that's Life Force. Next up, I haven't watched this one yet, Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions. I definitely will. There's just so many movies to get to. It's just kind of hard to get to all of them. It's got the director's cut and the theatrical cut. I've heard mixed things about this one. I heard that it's just kind of middle of the road. Nothing like spectacular or anything. But 1995, David Levine and Joel Robinson did the artwork on this. That's kind of one of Joel's first ones, I think. The all-new high-def transfer of Clive Barker's director's cut. Commentary by Clive Barker as well. You also get the theoretical cut too. So yeah, Lord of Illusions. Next up, we have Mad Max. Kind of a random one to put out. It's a cheap one. You can still find this one with the slip for like 12 bucks. From 1980. Fun movie. You know, I like Road Warrior better, but it's still fun. It's ridiculous. It's, you know, it's good stuff though. And you get Mel Gibson. You get new interviews with Mel Gibson too, which is dope. Actually, I was able to get Mel Gibson to do some interviews for this stuff. Usually when they put out movies by, you know, big actors, they can't ever get them for any of the features, so that's cool. Next up is Michael Mann's Manhunter. We're going to watch all these too at some point. So I haven't watched this one. I've seen Silence of the Lambs, of course, and I've seen Hannibal. Haven't seen Manhunter or Red Dragon, but we'll definitely get to it. Heard this one's kind of a slow burn too, but this is from 1986. Mindy King did the artwork on that one. It's Manhunter. Next up, we have Misery. James Caan, Kathy Bates. Such a great movie. Hard to watch at parts. She's so creepy, and you feel for old James Caan in this one for sure, man. But such a great movie, man. This is from 1990, and Joel Robinson did the artwork on it. That artwork's really cool. The old school artwork. They did a great job with this one too, as far as features go. This is one that you can get for cheap though. This is a middle of the road one, probably $15 to $16. You can get online. Most likely you'll get it with the slipcover too. This slipcover is not hard to find. The 4K transfer on this is really good. It's got new interviews with Rob Reiner and the makeup with Greg Nicotero and some other ones. It's got some audio commentary that they ported over as well. Next up, we have Motel Hell, man. I like this one, man. People shit on it because they're saying it's like a fake Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I get that, the way that they do it, but I still enjoyed it, man. It's got some good gore. I like the vibe to it, man. It's Cheese Fest. 1980. David Levine and Cliff McMillan did the artwork. That's the original. And then there's so this is when they were doing Blu-ray DVD combos. I love this slipcover art too. I think that's really cool. New audio commentary with the director and new interviews. This is another one that was an earlier release, so it didn't have a ton of stuff, but I like Motel Hell, man. Next up, Night of the Comet. Haven't watched this one yet. This was like a weird 80s, like, I want to say sci-fi? Night of the Living Dead meets Valley Girl. There you go. Science fiction film, yeah. 1984. Cliff McMillan did the art. Love that artwork. And there's the original. It's just one that I haven't watched yet. I'll eventually get around to it, but it's the Blu-ray combo pack there. That's a very tough one to find with that slipcover as well. That is Night of the Comet. Next up, we have Night of the Creeps, which is a newer one from this year. I've seen this one multiple times when I had the old Blu-ray. I haven't watched this since they gave me the collector's edition. This movie's a cheese fest, but I had fun with it. You got a theatrical cut and a director's cut, which I don't know if I've seen the director's cut or not. 1986, good old-fashioned Jason Lively, dude. Rusty from European Vacation. You get new interviews. You get a new episode of Horror's Hollow Grounds, which is dope. Audio commentary with Fred Decker, who's the writer-director. Commentary with the cast. I like that artwork too, man. And Cliff McMillan did this one, so that's cool that they brought him back because he hasn't been really doing a lot. That's Night of the Creeps. Next up is Night of the Demons. This one's still sealed. I've seen this one multiple times. But we'll just go ahead and open it, you know. I've seen it multiple times. I got this. I had a mission to get back my Scream Factories a couple years ago, and my boy Opie gave me this one for a great price. This is one of my favorite artworks that they did. I remember the day that I got this in the mail. It was the same time frame that I got all those Scream Factories from Amazon, and I was most excited, other than the Halloween box set, to get this because I'd never seen it, but I heard great things. 1988, Nathan Thomas Miller, David Levine, and then of course, this is when they were doing the Blu-ray DVD combo packs. This movie to me is the definition of what I love about 80s horror movies. It's got cheesy acting, it's got some comedy, it's got some hot chicks showing their titties, and it's got some great gore. And this movie has all of that. It knocks off every part of the checklist. It gives you everything that you want. Not a big fan of the sequels. I've seen part 2. I think it's just okay. 3's really bad. But this was a must own, man. Again, 1988, you get a new commentary. You get another old audio commentary. You get interviews. Must own. I like it too because it's that it's the glossy slipcover. That's Night of the Demons. Next up, we have Ninja 3: The Domination. Now, this is one Scream Factory released like as a standalone, and then they put it back out as a collector's edition. This movie is entertaining as shit, but it's so terrible. But it's in that same vibe as like Miami Connection and all that stuff. It's not as good as that, but it's ridiculous. But I had fun with it, man. It makes no sense though. It's so ridiculous. Joel Robinson did the artwork, 1984. You get a 4K scan, a lot of new interviews and stuff. But if you're into cheesy like action like that, then you'd enjoy it. Ninja 3. Next up is a Brian De Palma film, Obsession. Haven't watched this one yet. I heard it's like a suspense thriller from 1976. WBYK did the cover art. Not really good artwork, honestly. It's just kind of blah, but it's another one that I'll get to. Scream Factory's gotten where they kind of do a little bit of everything with their releases. Next up, we have People Under the Stairs, Wes Craven. I think this one's okay. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this movie. I think I do like parts of it though. I think that it's cool. I don't think it's outstanding in any way. It does have some creepy elements to it, but it's nothing great to me. I still enjoy parts of it though. Cliff McMillan, Mindy King did the artwork. This is from 1991. You get a lot of cool features on that one as well. But if you're a Wes Craven fan, check it out if you hadn't already. If you're a Wes Craven fan, of course, you've already seen it. But next up is Phantasm 2. We did a franchise ranking of the Phantasm films at the Triple Flix Mafia channel. Be sure to subscribe. I'm not a big fan of this. I do like it. But it's like number 3 to me on the list. I think the first one, then part 3, then this one. There's not a lot of Tall Man in this one, man. Tall Man is the best part of Phantasm, and he's not in this one much. It's more about the two guys hunting Tall Man. But a lot of people love this one. This is from 1988. David Levine, Cliff McMillan did the artwork. Kind of bare bones. There's an audio commentary and a couple interviews, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Phantasm series, but I love the Tall Man there. He's awesome. So that's Phantasm 2. Next up, now this is one I had no interest in watching anytime soon, but I bought it on a Scream Factory sale for like $12, and it came with a slip. That is Phantom of the Paradise. Dude, I thought this movie was really cool. It's like I can't even describe it. It's a horror movie, but it's like a musical. Oh, it's super cheesy. 1974, Justin Osborne, David Levine did the art. It's hard to explain what this movie is. I'll just say go in with an open mind. I had fun with it, bro. Like, I did not expect to like this movie at all, and I watched it and I was like, this is really cool. But yeah, I had fun with it. And you get tons of stuff on it. It's a Blu-ray DVD. You get new commentary, new interviews, and all kinds of cool stuff. It's Phantom of the Paradise. Don't like judge that one by the cover of it. Like, check it out. I thought it was cool. Next up, we have Poltergeist 2, 1986. We're gonna watch this trilogy soon, and I'm gonna rewatch these. I've seen both of them, both of the sequels. I've seen all 3 of them multiple times, but it's been years since I've seen this one. I used to rent this one all the time. This is from 1986. Justin Osborne, Mindy King did the artwork there. I thought it was cool that they released these. They're not great movies by any means, but super creepy horror movies though. And this artwork on them is really nice. You get 2K scan of this one, a new commentary, and 2 new commentaries, and then some new interviews. A lot of cool features on this one. That's Poltergeist 2, and then there's Poltergeist 3. Same guy, you know, Mindy King, Cliff McMillan. This is from 1988. You get a 2K scan of this one, new interviews and stuff like that, new commentary. This is the one that I remember the most, though. is part 3. I used to rent 2 and 3 when I was younger. That was the like extent of my horror movies when I was younger. I rented mostly wrestling pay-per-views. Next up, we have John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. Now, when I first watched this movie back in 2014, I thought it was really cool. I've watched it twice since then. It kind of diminished to me. I thought it was okay, but for the most part, it's kind of boring at parts. But I still enjoy it. It's Carpenter, so you still have that same Carpenter vibe. But 1987, David Levine and Justin Osborne did the artwork. Very, very few special features. You get a commentary from Carpenter that was ported over. You do get new interviews with him and Alice Cooper, though, and that's all you get. So, Prince of Darkness. Next up is Prison. Yes, that is Viggo Mortensen there. And you get, I think you get Debo in here, too. Of course, directed by Rennie Harlan. Man, I enjoyed this. I enjoy horror movies that take place in prisons. I think they're ridiculous, but they're fun. And this was kind of the same thing. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, it doesn't make it. Just look at the back right here. Look at that. But I thought it was cool. It has that cool vibe to it, man. It's late 80s horror, which I'm a fan of. Obviously, all 80s horror. But you get a commentary with Rennie Harlan. You get the making of, which is a really cool making of introspective on the movie. I always love when they throw that stuff in there. Prison. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about these. Psycho 2, one of my favorite horror movie sequels. For years, I had never seen it. My boy Skeggs was like, man, you need to watch this. You need to watch this. It's one of his favorites. And I watched it. I just think it's great, man. It's done so well. It's so creepy. And I thought it was awesome that it got Scream Factory treatment. David Levine and Cliff McMillan did the artwork on these. There's no alternate artwork, though. I don't know if it's kind of a similar thing where they did with like body bags or something where they didn't have the rights or how that works. Well, I guess it's not that they didn't have the rights because they got the original artwork, if that's what this is. But David Levine, Cliff McMillan did the art. Maybe this isn't the original artwork. You get a commentary with the screenwriter and vintage audio interviews, not very much in special features. 1983. Must own, man. We're going to go through all these Psycho films as well. Psycho 3 I really enjoyed too. Same guy, David Levine, Cliff McMillan. This is from 1983. Well, it says it's from 83 as well. No alternate artwork. It is just the Blu-ray on here. I didn't like this one as much as 2, but I do enjoy this one a lot too, though. And you get audio commentary and interviews with this one as well. So that's Psycho 2 and 3. Big fan. Another creature feature that I think's dope, Pumpkinhead. This is from 1988. Levine and Osborne did this artwork as well. Really enjoy that artwork there. This artwork's cool. I remember seeing that at the video store. Dude, this movie creeps me the fuck out. Like, I'm a huge fan of creature features, and Pumpkinhead is so fucking scary, bro. Look at that thing. Look at that creature, dude. So creepy. And they do tons of stuff in this. They do a tribute to Stan Winston. They do new interviews. They've got audio commentary, Evolution of a Demon. A lot of featurettes, man. This is definitely one you should get if you're into creature features. That's Pumpkinhead. Next up, we got another Cronenberg movie, Rabid. I like this one a lot better than Dead Ringers. This one's still kind of boring though, but it's got creepy parts. 1977, the CRP group did that one. It's just a slow burn, but I did enjoy it way more than I enjoyed Dead Ringers. This is more along the lines of a Scream Factory. You get a 2K scan, new audio commentary, all that cool stuff. If you're into Cronenberg movies like this, like Videodrome, stuff like that, check this one out if you hadn't. That's Rabid. Next up is Raising Cain with John Lithgow. I thought this one's good too. This is a slow burn also. 1992, sorry. And John Lithgow's creepy as fuck in this movie, dude. This has got the director's cut and theatrical version. I just watched the theatrical version, so I need to rewatch it with the director's cut and see how different it is. It doesn't say like the difference in time. It says it's 91 minutes. CRP group did this one as well. But yeah, it's Raising Cain. Next up, huge fan of these, man. Return of the Living Dead. This is from 1985. McMillan and King did this one as well. I love these movies, bro. I love Return of the Living Dead. I really enjoy part 2. 3's okay, but big fan of these first two. I'm gonna rewatch these again soon. I may do like a review on them. You get 2K scan of this one, two new commentaries, tons of featurettes, man. This is a must own if you're a fan of like old zombie horror. You gotta get this one. It's Return of the Living Dead. Same with this one, man. Return of the Living Dead Part 2. Now, this guy right here is gonna make you so mad because he's such a pussy the whole movie. And he's so bad at acting too. Mindy King and Graham Humphreys did this one. This is from 1988. But I thought it was a lot of fun, and this is one of the most iconic artworks I remember seeing as a kid. You get a new commentary, 2K scan, the featurette, a lot of cool stuff on this one. The transfer of these is so good, man. Recommend both of those, Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2. Next up, we got RoboCop 2. Paul Shipper did this one from 1990. These are just complete cheese fest. I think they're putting out the first RoboCop on Arrow, I think. But I wouldn't mind doing a RoboCop trilogy review, you know, once the other one comes out and we get to rewatch them all. RoboCop 2 is pretty good. It's ridiculous. Now, RoboCop 3 is ridiculous. It is insane. Paul Shipper did this one, 1993. This is not a good movie at all. But, you know, it gives you the trilogy there. I'm going to be getting the first one whenever Arrow puts it out. But RoboCop 2 and 3. Next up, we have Serial Mom from 1994. CRP grew with the artwork on that one. I think that's pretty cool art. I used to watch this as a kid. I think it's cool, man. It's got like a cheesy, like early 90s feel to it. And it's just about Kathleen Turner just losing her shit. You don't see a lot of gore in it. It's more like a horror comedy. It's got a conversation with the director, John Waters, Kathleen Turner. It's got some cool features on it, but it's nothing great, but I enjoyed it though. I watched it as a kid too, so there's that. Serial Mom. Got Serpent in the Rainbow. This is also a Wes Craven film. I think this one's cool, man. I'm just not super into like this style of horror movie. Like voodoo and stuff like that. I'm just not super into that style. But I do like parts of this movie. It's not one of my favorite Wes Craven movies from '87. Joel Robinson did the art on this as well. You got Bill Pullman. Look how ridiculous he looks in that. But again, it's nothing outstanding to me. Some people really love this one. I'm just not one of those people. It does have a new commentary with Bill Pullman and a making of. So that's Serpent in the Rainbow. Next up, now this movie's terrible, but I had fun with it. This is another Wes Craven one. Shocker. This movie is ridiculous. But, dude, Peter Berg, man. I had fun with it, dude. It's not a good movie, though. It's so good, it's so bad it's good to me kind of thing. You get Cliff McMillan and Mindy King there with the artwork. This is from '89. There's that classic art there. Just, you can't beat it, man. Shocker. Boom. Check it out, man. They got an audio commentary. They got 2 commentaries on here. All new interviews with a lot of the people too. Featurettes. Next up is Silent Hill. We just watched it. I need to rewatch this one again because towards the end we was just kind of shooting the shit when I wasn't paying much attention. Devin Whitehead did the artwork. From 2006. I like the feel of this. It's got a video game feel. My brother used to play the game and it was really creepy. And I love the vibe of it. The way it's shot, the colors in it, I think are really cool. I just need to rewatch like that last hour. It's a long haul. It's like 2 hours long. But it's got some featurettes and commentaries and stuff like that. Silent Hill. Oh, these are fun, man. I love these. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Definite go-to Christmas horror movie every year. Joel Robinson, one of my favorite artworks he did, 1984. Again, this goes along the same lines as like Night of the Demons to me. It does everything it's supposed to do. It gives you tons of titties. It gives you good kills. It's cheesy as fuck. It's cheesy to the point where it's comedic. I loved it, man. And the features on this are insane. There's so many. Look at that. I definitely recommend Silent Night, Deadly Night. And there's that classic artwork there. But I loved it, man. Next up, we have Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I heard this one is super trash. We haven't watched it yet. We're going to watch all these this Christmas. This is from 87. Joel Robinson did the artwork for it too. And there's that artwork. There's the classic art. Tons of features on this one. New scan, new commentary, new featurettes. It's garbage day, man. Oh, this looks so bad. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And next up are the next three that I love. Sleepaway Camp. This is part 1 from 83. Must own. 80s hard cheese. We've done a franchise review of this trilogy on the Triple Flix channel, if y'all go check that out. And then you've got Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers from 87. Nathan Thomas Milner did all these the newly commissioned artwork. These are cool because they've got documentaries for each one. And these are some of the earlier ones. Must own though. Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland. This is from 88. And they progressively get... Actually, I liked 3 better than 2. But 2 and 3 are like comedies, horror comedies. But they got some really cool kills for the time. And I'm a big fan of them, man. Sleepaway Camp trilogy. Next up, we have Sleepwalkers. Stephen King. I heard this movie was dog shit, and then I watched it, and me and Jordan watched it, and as ridiculous as it is, we had fun with it. Now, it's not a good movie, but it was good. It was bad enough to where it was fun for us. Devin Whitehead did the artwork. This is from 1992. There, of course, everybody remembers that art, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, it's cheese for sure. It's definite cheese. It's got a new commentary with Mick Garris. New interviews and behind the scenes footage. So Sleepwalkers. Next up we have Slither. I thought this one was okay, man. I was wanting it to like it a lot more. 2006. Justin Osborne did the art for that one. There's that artwork there. There was parts of this I thought were really cool, and then other parts I was just like, eh. It could have been better to me. It's nothing great. It's got some commentaries and interviews as well. Slither. Next up, we have Species. Very good one right here, man. Titties. 1995. This artwork's dope. You had CRP Group did this one. There were several of these that they made. I've only watched this first one. Now, I know there's more that is in the collection, but that's the first one, Species. Next up, we have Squirm. Great creature feature. Ridiculous. 1976. David Levine and Paul Shipper. Squirm has some awesome, like, original art too. If you're into creature features, man, this is one that you ought to check out. It's pretty terrifying at parts. Squirm. Next up, we have Starman, a John Carpenter movie with Jeff Bridges and Karen Allen. I haven't watched this one yet. I got it from Jordan. He just was a one watcher for him. 1984, CRP Group did it. I'm not expecting much of anything from this. But we'll check it out at some point. I may do a John Carpenter ranked video or something sometime. What year was that from? 1984. Next up we have The Strangers. I used to love this movie, but watching it now, it doesn't hold up as much. I think I still like it though. CRP Group did this one on the artwork wise. And this is from 2007. Sorry. That artwork's cool. This movie kind of trails off towards the end. I really like parts of part 2, and then everybody that's followed my channel knows that movie's ending ruined the movie for me. I hated the ending. Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight. Had fun with this one, 1995. It's got that good mid-90s cheese feel to it. I had fun with it. Got some good effects and stuff in it. Tons of features, audio commentaries, featurettes, all that stuff. And I love that artwork. Justin Osborne, he was putting in work for Scream Factory. And then the other one from Tales of the Crypt one, Bordello of Blood. I like this one too. Lots of titties in this one. 95 as well. I don't like this one as much as Demon Knight. Justin Osborne did this one too. But it was cool though. It had cool parts to it. Had some good kills. I think that's dope they put those both out too. And I love the artwork style. Next up, another one that we love. Tales from the Hood, man. So Bad It's Good, 95. Joel Robinson did the artwork on this one, obviously. Just a good hood horror movie, like anthology. Part 2 is horrible, by the way. But Tales from the Hood is a good hood horror movie for sure. Now, obviously, hands down, my favorite, you see the shrine there. My favorite horror movie, well, it's not even a horror movie. In my top 3 favorite movies of all time. Teen Wolf. Absolutely love this movie. Holy Grail title for me, 1985. Mindy King and Paul Shipper did the artwork. I've done a review for this on the Triple Flix channel. It's one of my favorite movies ever, man. I've watched it countless times, and it has the most amazing documentary in it ever. It's like an hour and a half long. That's all that's on it, special feature-wise. That's all I needed. So good, man. Absolutely love it. Can't say enough about Teen Wolf. Now, I own this one simply because, I mean, this movie's terrible. I may end up doing a rant review on how terrible this movie is. That is Teen Wolf 2. This movie is dog shit, bro. 1987. You got Jason Bateman as playing the Teen Wolf. Nobody comes back from the original except for James Hampton and Mark Holton. This movie is fucking awful, bro. I think I may do a rant review on it, though. It's so bad. Because people like to see me like cuss about stuff, so. This movie's not good at all. It shits on the first one. Fuck that movie. But we know that why I have it. We know why. Terror Train. This is the one that's got the other release. Not Funhouse. Terror Train is the one that's got the special release, I believe. From whoever's releasing it. I don't know. One of the original ones from Scream Factory 1980. Another one that I really enjoy. You get David Copperfield in there, which is so random. This is when Jamie Lee Curtis was putting that work in, man. She was doing all kinds of stuff. This looks like The Rock dropped a people's elbow on the back of the slipcover. Damn it. But not many features on it, but again, it's another one that I enjoy. Next up, we have Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. This movie's fucking awesome. Shoo Tony. For you not liking this one? I don't think Jordan liked it as much. Jordan liked it more than Tony did, but Tony didn't like it. Shoo. Dude, I understand why people don't like it because it's so different from the first one. I just think it's awesome, man. It's got comedy in it, which I understand. It's ridiculous. The end is kind of far-fetched with the whole, fortress that they're at. But I just loved it, man. I freaking loved it. 1986. Joel Robinson did the art. Loved it, man. Tons of great features. Watched them so many times. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. And then you got this pile of dog shit. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. Horrible! Joel Robinson did the artwork. 1994. Fucking cross-dressing Leatherface, man. Do I need to say anything else? Y'all subscribe to Johnathan Ivey's channel so you can listen to him rant about this one. Movie's not good, bro. Next up, we have They Live, John Carpenter. I'm a fan of this one. Again, it's not one of my favorite Carpenter flicks from 1988. David Levine did the artwork for it, but I still enjoy it and I still appreciate it. It's just not. I'm just not one of those people that love They Live, but I do like it. Next up, we have The Thing. I do love this John Carpenter film. Amazing movie, 1982. Joel Shipper did the artwork for this one. The transfer on this is amazing. There's that awesome original art, and then there's the alternate disc. Disc 1 is the movie, and disc 2 is the features. There are so many features on this movie, man. Definitely check this one out. You get some stuff ported over from the other releases as well. Next up, we have Trick or Treat. Great release here, anthology. Just one you got to watch every year, man. 2007. It's just creepy as shit, man. Everybody knows about Trick or Treat. And this is a great addition to it. This is Devin Whitehead did this one. You can always tell which one he did. Kind of obvious to me, but must watch every year for Halloween. Almost done with the collector's editions. Urban Legend. We're gonna watch these soon. I haven't watched it yet. I've seen it before. Joel Robinson did the artwork on this one. Oh shit, when did this come out, man? Why do they do this to me? 1998, sorry. This has got that cool late 90s vibe to it, like Scream. I haven't watched the sequel. I haven't purchased that either. It's on Scream Factory, just not collector's edition. Next up, we have Valentine, another one that's along that same lines. 2001. Devin Whitehead did the artwork for this one. Jordan enjoyed it. I haven't watched it yet, but Viz did do a review of this one on our channel. I heard it's cool. I heard it's something spectacular. You get some new commentaries and stuff on it. And last but not least, on the Scream Factory, we have Village of the Damned, another John Carpenter movie. Not the biggest fan of it. Thought it was kind of slow. 1995. Nathan Thomas Milner did the artwork. It's just okay. It's nothing spectacular. Alrighty. And we'll take a quick break. Not gonna be a break for y'all. It's gonna come right back. But we're gonna finish the rest of my Scream Factories. Woo! Okay, we're back. Now we're gonna get through these quick. I'm not gonna talk about the features and stuff on these, because we're never gonna get through this video if I do that. These are all the other Scream Factories that I have, whether it be regular releases, IFC releases, Shout Selects, double packs, box sets. None of these, I don't really, a lot of these, some of them have slipcovers, I don't have them. I don't focus on it too much unless it's collector's editions. We're gonna get through it. Some of these I've seen, some of them I haven't yet, but we'll obviously get to them at some point. And we're gonna get through these. First up, we have The Abandoned. This is from 2015. I don't know a lot about this. I know Jason Patrick's in it from Lost Boys. It looks pretty creepy in the trailer, and this is one I found at McKay's for cheap. So, yeah, we'll check it out. It's Abandoned. Next up, we have American Gothic. Really enjoyed this one, man. This is a Canadian horror film from 1988. It's weird as fuck, though. But I enjoyed it, dude, and I always used to see this artwork, you know, at the store. I recommend this one if you like cheesy horror. American Gothic. Next up, we got Animal. I got this for like $2.95 on Hamilton Books website. They were doing a sale. Turn it down. There we go. It doesn't have the slipcover, but again, it doesn't really matter too much to me with these. 2014. Maybe it'll be a good creature feature. Me and Jordan and Tony will watch it at some point. Next up, we have. Oh, got out of the order a little bit. After Midnight. I really enjoyed this one, man. I didn't know anything about it. I got it on a Scream Factory sale from 1989. But I really enjoyed it, dude. It's got some creepy parts to it. I believe this is the, oh yeah, this is an anthology too, yeah. I enjoyed it, man, After Midnight. And then we've got Ambulance. Enjoyed this one too. 1990. This one came to me and it looked like it had water damage, and I bought it new. And I didn't realize it until after I'd opened it, and I bought it offline. So I just kind of had, it would have been a pain in the butt because I got it off eBay. I got a little bit of I told the guy about it, and he gave me like part of my money back, but it is what it is. I mean, it's not damaged to the point where you can't see anything. 1990. It's got a good creepy vibe to it. Larry Cohen directed it. It's nothing outstanding. You got James Earl Jones in here too, which is random, but yeah. Ambulance. Next up, we have the Amityville Horror Trilogy, which we do have a we have a franchise review and rankings on this one, including the remake on the Triple Flix channel, so be sure to check that out. You have Amityville Part 1, Amityville 2, The Possession, and the dog shit turd that is Amityville 3D. Amityville 1's from 79, 82 is Part 2, and 83 is Part 3. To me, the order would be Part 2, the original, the remake, and then Part 3. But if y'all want to see our franchise ranking, check that out. This is a must-own if you're a fan of, like, Scream Factory. You can get that for, like, $30 too. Next up, we have Autopsy of Jane Doe, an IFC Midnight collabo with Scream Factory from 2015, I believe, 16. I thought this was creepy as fuck. I didn't know anything about it when I purchased it, but I thought it was really good, man. This may be on Netflix, too. A lot of these are on Netflix. The Babadook, 2014, I believe, 14 or 15. This is the one with that pop-up cover. This is not really a horror movie. This is like a psychological thriller, I guess. It's creepy. I'm not one that loves it, but I do like parts of it. That's Babadook. That slipcover's cool too. Next up, you have Backcountry, one of my favorite releases from IFC. This is terrifying. It's about these two people that go camping. This is also one that I've talked about in our countdowns. Creature features, Backcountry. I want to say it's on Netflix. It used to be. I don't know if it still is. They're losing stuff left and right on Netflix. Next up is Bad Moon, another good creature feature from 1996. It's a short one too. It's only 79 minutes. I recommend if you can find this one for under like 10 to 12 bucks, it's definitely worth it. It's just got a super creepy vibe to it, man. And you got Beast Within. This movie's ridiculous. 1981. The transformation scene in this is so long. It's like a 20-minute transformation scene. I like my meat rare, is all I'm gonna say about that. That was a quote from somebody in the movie. Next up, we have The Binding, another one that I got for $3 off Hamilton Book, an IFC. I don't even know if this is IFC. Who gives a shit, Chad? From a couple years ago, for $3, man, I'll pick up any Scream Factory for $3. Check it out. Next up, we have Bloodsucking Bastards. I thought this one was really cool, man. It's like Office Space meets Night of the Living Dead kind of thing. I thought it was really cool. It's kind of along the same lines as like a... it's not as good, but it's along the same lines as like Shaun of the Dead and stuff like that. Next up, we have The Boy. This is one with David Morse and Rainn Wilson. This is not about the doll. This is a different one. This came out around the same time too, which was funny. They both came out the same year in the same 2015, and they're both called The Boy. This is just a character piece about this little kid. It's creepy as fuck. I liked it. Oh god, there's shit everywhere here. Let's see. Let's get this shit together. There we go. Okay. Next up, we have The Brain. I got this off Viz. I definitely want to check it out, man. It looks ridiculous. He gave it to me for a really good price, 1988. This is one of the more recent Scream Factory releases. It's like super expensive. It's like 20 something bucks, and Jordan gave it to me for like $12 to $13. So I'm gonna check it out. It looks like it's ridiculous. He said it was definitely ridiculous at parts, so we'll check it out. It's The Brain. Next up, we have The Crush. I've seen this a long time ago, 1993. Alicia Silverstone, back when she was hot shit, son. Next up, we have a cheesy action fest that is Dark Angel, aka I Come in Peace. I had to switch that case out because the one I had was cracked. We're in that bag right now with 80s with like action cheese, and this is right up my alley. Well, this is 1990, but I love this movie. It's ridiculous though. Next up, we have Dark Summer. This is another one that has a slipcover, but I'm not worried about it. It's from 2013. It's another one me and Skeggs found out at McKay's, and I found it for like $3 or $4, so worth checking out. Here's another one that has a slip, but I've seen this one. I really enjoy it. Tony just picked it up recently too. That is Deep in the Darkness. This movie's creepy as shit, bro. Like, these things right here are terrifying. It's Sean Patrick Thomas. Basically, him and his wife moving to this new town, and a lot of weird shit's going on. And this movie's creepy, dude. I really liked it though. Nobody ever talks about it, but next up we have Desolation. This is one I got cheap off eBay for like $6 with the slip. I haven't got a chance to watch it yet. It's only like 75 minutes. I heard it's nothing great, but we'll definitely give it a go sooner or later. We have Devil's Candy. This movie's crazy, dude. I loved it. The music in it's awesome. Ethan Embry is psychotic in this movie, but he's great. Definitely recommend this one. This may still be on Netflix as well. Got The Devil's Dolls. A lot of people didn't like this movie. I thought it was dope, dude. I thought it was bad. I thought it had some really good kills in it. I mean, I enjoyed it. 2016 IFC collabo. We've got The Devil's Gate, which I got off of Best Buy, maybe, for cheap or maybe I can't remember. It was off of a sale that somebody was having. And it came with the slip. Again, it's an IFC Midnight collabo. I don't know a lot about it. I just try to find these for cheap, anywhere in the $5 to $10 range, and I'll definitely give them a go. Disturbing Behavior. I got this at Hastings. 1998. I'd seen this a long time ago, but I hadn't seen it in a while, but it's got that late 90s feel. The Scream Factory's putting a lot of those out. And it's got Katie Holmes in it. Holy Grail release for me, Brain Scan. Everybody knows how much I fucking love Brain Scan. This should have gotten a collector's edition, 1994. It has more features on it than the majority of the collector's editions. I don't know if they didn't think it was going to sell. They're stupid, but I'm just glad it got a Blu-ray release with all these features. So fucking underrated. Nobody talks about Brain Scan, man. It's such a good movie, dude. Loved it. The theme in that is so good. Then you have the remake of Cabin Fever. I don't really know why they remade this movie like 10 or 11 years after the original came out. It's almost exactly like the original. Some of the parts are different. I love the original one, so I like that one okay, but don't know why they made it, honestly. Carnage Park, found this super cheap. I heard this one's really underrated too, man. 2016 IFC collabo. Got Candyman, Farewell to the Flesh. Want to look at this one soon too. I've seen it. It's been years ago though, but 1995. I wouldn't mind doing the franchise review of the Candymans too. Cherry Falls. This was pretty creepy too, dude. This was from 2000. I watched this one last year, and it's got that vibe. R.I.P. Brittany Murphy too. I loved her, man. God. Got Cockneys versus Zombies. This one is really funny. This is like Shaun of the Dead style zombie, you know, a zomcom or whatever they call them. I enjoy this one a lot, dude. That has a slipcover with it too. That's pretty rare, I think. But again, I don't stress the slips too much when it comes to the IFC stuff because I just don't, honestly. Maybe I should, but I don't. Next up, we have another box set that I treated myself for a birthday gift last year because it came out on my birthday. Critters, the collection. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the only two movies that are good in this set are part 1 and 2. 3 is bad and 4 is awful. But you got Critters 1, Critters 2. I love these artworks too. I just kept the originals. Well, I guess I need to switch them out. Critters 3, Critters 4. I haven't seen the new Critters. I heard it's really bad, but I definitely will pick it up when it gets like, when I find it at McKay's for like $5. But that's an awesome set. Then you got Don't Knock Twice. I wanted this one to be a lot better than it actually was. That being said, it's still something that I had fun with. It's another IFC one. The Editor. I need to watch this one again because I didn't like this one when I watched it. But I watched it by myself. Maybe I need to watch it with Viz and Tony because Viz really liked it. I didn't, though. I need to rewatch it, though. It's ridiculous. This is one that me and Skeggs found at McKay's for like $7 or $8. I had credit. Know nothing about it. It just got released last year on Scream Factory and IFC. Elizabeth Harvest. We'll get into it at some point, but I haven't seen it. This is one that a lot of people kind of crap on. It's Clint Howard. He's weird as shit. So is this movie, but I think this movie's cool. Evil Speak. I want to say this is out of print too. 1981, dude. 81 was the year of the horror films, bro. Fender Bender. This is a Scream Factory original. This movie could have been incredible. I still enjoy it, but they dropped the ball in some parts. I don't want to say where because I don't want to give it away, but the music in it's really cool. The idea is cool. Parts of it are cool, but then I don't know. I still enjoy it though. It could have been a lot better though, but for a Scream Factory original, it's cool. Here's one that's just straight to the point. Final Exam slasher film. Movie starts. There's a killer after some kids at college. There's no backstory, nothing. It just starts. 1981. Again, I enjoy it. It's just simple to the point slasher movie. We got The Final Terror. This is one of those Blu-ray DVD combo packs they used to put out. This is from '83. People are out in the woods. Something's picking them off and they don't know what it is. From a Whisper to a Scream. I enjoy this one. This is a anthology from '87, but I enjoy it a lot, man. Me and Viz watched that recently. I don't like the last story though. Funhouse Massacre. Again, like I said earlier in the video, huge fan of any movies that take place in fun houses, theme parks, carnivals, stuff like that. This is another one that had the potential to be incredible, and it kind of fell short, but I still liked it though. Ghost Stories. This is an anthology film. I liked it. It's kind of hit or miss. People either love it or they hated it. I'm kind of in the middle. I thought it was cool though. I mean, it has one of those endings that's like you have to go watch explain videos and stuff like that. But overall, I still thought it was cool though. This one I got off eBay for dirt cheap, like $4. Gravy. This looks awful. This is from 2014. I told myself I'll find it. If I ever find this for $5 or less, I'll buy it. And I found it for like $4 on eBay. So we'll get to it at some point. I'm not having any hopes for that one though. Another creature feature that I really liked, The Hallow. This is on Netflix, or it used to be. This movie creeped me the fuck out, bro. I'm a huge fan of this style of movie, and this movie's great, dude. Check it out if you get a chance. Great creature feature. Next up is The Harvest. This one's cool. It's nothing. It's kind of a slow burn. It's about this family that's harvesting organs, obviously. 2015, Michael Shannon. I'm a big fan of Michael Shannon. Next up, we have the Halloween 15-disc box set. I'm not going to go into great detail about these. We've talked about them 10,000 times. You have Halloween. Halloween 2, which obviously I have on Collector's Edition. Halloween 3, same there. Halloween 4. Halloween 5. Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. H2O. Dog Shit. Rob Zombie Halloween. And Rob Zombie H2. I mean, it's a must-own set. This 15-discer is incredible because it gives you 5 extra discs of like alternate versions, special features. This is out of print, so it goes for a really pretty penny. But if you can ever find it, man, definitely scoop it up. We've talked about that in nauseum. Let's see. Okay, so now we're looking at the Howling films. We already have Howling Part 1 on Collector's Edition. We got Howling 2, everybody. $12, thanks, Tone. So throwback to our Scarefest trip from years ago. 1985. I haven't watched this yet. Of course, I love the first Howling. Did want to get this. And I said if this ever got cheap, I would pick it up. And that is the Howling 3. I heard this is really bad, though. I may double feature these soon. Check them out, but... yeah, Howling 2 is from 85 and Howling 3 is from 87. So, got those two. Next up, we have Invaders from Mars. I got this dirt cheap, like $6 on eBay. This one's not all that great, man. This is a Tobe Hooper film as well. It's like a sci-fi film. It's not terrible, but it's just okay. I mean, it was worth $6. 1986. Let's see, okay. Next up, we have Jackals. This is is it a Scream Factory original? Yeah, it is. I thought this one was cool too, man. Now this one is basically on some like Strangers type shit. But dude, this one was good, man. But the people are so dumb in it. Like the main people that you're supposed to pull for are fucking idiots though. Next up, we have Killing Ground. Now I need to definitely check this one out soon. This is on Netflix. It looks incredible. It looks like one of those movies where they get stranded out there and some weird shit starts happening. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo. Again, I got it cheap off of eBay. Next one up is The Lesson. This one's cool. This is basically about a teacher that kidnaps some of his students that make fun of him and he tortures them. Next up, we have Leviathan. Enjoy this one thoroughly. It's like a rip-off, kind of like, I don't want to say it's a rip-off, but it's along the lines of like Alien. I think you got Daniel Stern in this. Yep, Daniel Stern, Peter Weller. I enjoy this one, man. Next up, we have Low Life. Another one that's super underrated. This is like a Spanish version of like Pulp Fiction. It's ridiculous, but I compare it to that by the way it was shot and the way they tied it together. I enjoyed it though. That's Low Life. Fun fact, that was the name of my rap group that I first started when I first started rapping. I was not good back then. Next up, we have The Midnight Man. Robert Englund, Gabrielle Hall, and Lynn Shay. I thought this one was dope. This one came out at the beginning of 2018. Nothing spectacular, but definitely has some creepy vibes to it. Next, after The Midnight Man, what else we got? We've got Monkey Shines, which I liked. I think this is out of print, 1988. I scooped this off Best Buy last year before it went out of print, or 2017. All the years are running together. I liked it though. Next up, we have New Year's Evil, ridiculous slasher movie from 1980. Anybody that sees what I'm doing right now is appreciating it. New Year's Evil, baby. Lobster Claw. Nightbreed, director's cut. For the longest time, this was always in my collector's editions, and then I was like, somebody finally told me that it's not a collector's edition. 1990, you got Craig Sheffer in this, from One Tree Hill and Program fame. I like the practical effects in it, man. It kind of drags though, but I still like it. And we got Nightmares. This is a cool anthology, man. And then the last one was really creepy until it showed the rat, and it was ridiculous. But overall though, I still enjoyed it. It's nothing like spectacular, but I thought it was a cool anthology. It was another one I got cheap at one of the sales. Over Your Dead Body, I got this for like $4 off of eBay. It's another one that's a Scream Factory collabo with another company. I don't know a lot about it, but again, it was under $5. It's worth trying out at some point. I'll get to it. Next up, we have the Poughkeepsie tapes. This is fucking creepy, dude. For the longest time, like, after me and Jordan watched it, I mean, I knew it wasn't real, but it makes you feel like it's legit. Like, Paul was even saying the same thing. We have Psycho 4, The Beginning. I haven't watched this one yet. I've heard it's not that great. It's like a TV movie from 1990, but we're going to check it out soon. Next up, Pumpkinhead 2, the new Blood Wings. Not near as good as the first one, but I still like it for what it is, 1994. Another dope-ass box set coming towards you. We've got the Wreck Collection, amazing box set. Wreck 1 and 2 are incredible films. Watch them together. It's almost like they're one film. They're both amazing. 3, I didn't really care for much. I like 4 a little bit better. But 3, they kind of took a different approach. But it's worth owning just for the first 2, man. The first 2 are incredible. Found footage. Next up, we have The Resurrected with John Terry, Chris Sarandon, and Jane Sibbett. Sorry. This one's cool. I watched this about 6 months ago. It's not anything spectacular, but it's one that I got at the Scream Factory sale for like $8 to $10. So it's worth that for sure. Next up, we have Scarecrows. Big fan of Scarecrows as well. 1988. I think there's another version of this that's put out by 88 Films, maybe. Can't remember for sure. But it's if you can find it for 8 to 10, it's worth it. Next up is The Sentinel. This movie is creepy as fuck. It's just even though it's 92 minutes, it feels like it's 2 hours. It's got a lot of big actors too when they were younger as well, but this has got a very creepy vibe to it for sure. I gotta take a sweet tea break. Oh my god, man. Next up, Session 9. I honestly don't know why I still have this because I didn't care for it at all. I forgot. I put it back in my collection and forgot to sell it. But this movie, we were so excited about this movie, and we watched it, and we just wasn't fans of it, bro. We're just missing the boat on that one. I'll watch it again, maybe. 2001, Session 9. Next up, we have The Seventh Sign with Demi Moore. I got it off eBay for dirt cheap. 1989. I saw it was on there. You know, I kind of just bid on it at the last minute and said, well, if it's under $10, it's kind of my rule with the Scream Factories. I'll check it out at some point. I've heard good things. Next up, love this one. Wish this would get a collector's edition. Slumber Party Massacre. Man, this movie's awesome. It's cheese fest, but it's got some good kills. It's got hot chicks. It's funny. It makes my checklist. 1982. And we've got Species 2, which I haven't watched these. I need to watch the sequels. 1988. Oh, I'm sorry, 1998. So we'll check that out at some point. We've got The Spell. This one was cool. I got this off of Hamilton Book for like $3. They were having an awesome sale. 1977. I mean, it is what it is. It's about somebody getting a spell put on them. It's nothing outstanding. It's kind of low budget from the 70s. Nothing outstanding, but this was a $25 Scream Factory that was on sale for $3. So definitely worth $3. Worth keeping. Stigmata, another one I got on during the sale. All these years have went by and I've never seen this from 1999. It's kind of one of those that's kind of mixed. You hear good and bad. Next up we have Strays. This is definitely getting watched soon. This just came out a couple weeks ago on Scream Factory, 1991. Not a special feature on it, but looking forward to it, man. I'm you know, they say cats have 9 lives. Will one of them be yours? What a tagline, bro. Next up we have Stung. Ridiculous creature feature, man. It's about these humongous bugs. Super gory and over the top. I had fun with it though, man. This is definitely one, if you find for under $10, give it a shot, man. I thought it was fun. Swamp Thing. Wes Craven film. It's cool. It's not great. You know, it's not one of my favorite Wes Craven films, but it's cool. Next up we have Tank 432. This was a $5 title. It's at CD Warehouse. Not expecting a lot from it. It's an IFC collabo. Again, it met my criteria as far as $5 to $10. Toolbox Murders 2. Haven't watched this one yet. This was a McKay's. No, this was actually a this was a Hamilton book as well, I think, for like $3. 2013. You get Bruce Dern in this one. I need to find that first one. Maybe it's on Prime or something. I can watch it. Next up, we have Witchboard. Witchboard was fun, man. It's got ridiculous acting in it, though. But it was cool. 1986. I think there's some sequels to this one, too. I had fun with this one, though. There's one guy in it that is insane, though. He's ridiculous. Next up is Without Warning. This is an exceptionally cheesy movie. 1980. Look at this, bro. This movie is ridiculous, dude. But it's so ridiculous that I liked it. It's from 1980. It's so over the top. Next up is The Wildling. This is a solid werewolf film. That came to a point in the movie where it could have went 2 ways, and it could have went this way and been incredible, or went this way and just been okay. To me, it kind of went to the okay route, but I still thought it was dope, though, man. For like a newer werewolf film, I had fun with it. Next up is Wormwood, Road of the Dead, which I've said hundreds of times. It's Mad Max and Dawn of the Dead. That's a perfect way to describe this movie. It's batshit crazy, but it's a fun time. Tony just picked it up too. Now we're going into my double features. I've got several of these. I've got Bad Dreams and Visiting Hours. Bad Dreams I wish would get a standalone, like a collector's edition. It's basically a Nightmare on Elm Street ripoff, but I had a lot of fun with it, man. Visiting Hours I'm not a fan of. It's really boring, just not really a fan of it. But Bad Dreams was great. But it is a ripoff of Nightmare on Elm Street. We've got Carrie and Rage Carrie 2. This was a 2-pack I got off eBay for like $9. Haven't watched either one of them, but we'll get to them at some point. Another double feature that's creature feature that I like, Cellar Dweller and Catacombs. Cellar Dweller was really cool. Catacombs I haven't watched yet, but I had fun with Cellar Dweller. Look at that cheese on the back. It was another one that I got off eBay for cheap. It was a screener copy you saw on the back. Another one I got off eBay cheap, The Curse and Curse 2. I'm one of the few people that enjoyed The Curse. I know Tony and Jordan didn't really like it. Curse is from 1987. Curse 2 is from 89. Curse 2 has nothing to do with the first one. But I enjoyed the Curse 2 is okay. It's about a snake. But Curse 1 I liked. This next one is really cool, man. Destroyer and Edge of Sanity. Destroyer was awesome. It's oh my god, Destroyer. I forgot that Destroyer has, I think that's the dude from Just One of the Guys. And April Fool's Day. Holy shit. Destroyer has Lyle Alzado in it. It's fucking crazy, dude. And then Edge of Sanity's Anthony Perkins. I haven't watched this one. I think Anthony Perkins is in both of them. Yeah, he's in both of them. But Destroyer, it's worth it just for Destroyer to me. Next up, we have the Dungeon Master and the Eliminators. This looks insane. This was one I got off eBay for cheap. Dungeon Master is AKA from 85. And Eliminators is from 86. These both look like ridiculous, like action horror. It'll get watched at some point. We're in that mode right now. Next up is Ghost House and Witchery. Ghost House is okay. It's like super cheesy. It's nothing outstanding. Witchery I haven't watched yet. Ghost House is from '88, so is Witchery. But I wish that Scream Factory would do these double features again. They quit doing them, man. Next up we have Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2. Now Ghoulies 1 is bad. Ghoulies 2 I had fun with. They're both ridiculous. They're ridiculous like critters, gremlins. They're all kind of like, not near as good as Gremlins, obviously, but Ghoulies 1 is ridiculous. It's not even fun. Ghoulies 2 is good cheese, though. Next up is Metamorphosis and Beyond Darkness. Metamorphosis is fucked up, bro. It's a fucked up movie. Metamorphosis is from '89. Beyond Darkness is from '90. Haven't watched Beyond Darkness, but Metamorphosis is a screwed up movie, man. I liked it, though. Next up is The Outing, aka The Lamp and The Godsend. I thought that The Outing was really, really good. The Godsend was okay. It was kind of slow, but I thought The Outing was cool, man. It's from 1987. It's a good like 80s like I wouldn't say slasher, but it's a good 80s horror movie. Now this one's awesome. You got the Slumber Party Massacre 2 and 3. This is super out of print. Part 2 is ridiculous, dude. Part 3 is ridiculous, but good ridiculous. 2 I didn't care for a lot. It's so bad, but 3 was so bad it's good. But yeah. Next up we have Species 3 and Species The Awakening. So I need to watch the other 3 of these. Maybe we can do these as a franchise review or something if y'all want us to. I'm not mad at that. These hot chicks. Next up we have Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror. 2 anthology films from the 70s. 72 was Tales from the Crypt and 73 was Vault of Horror. Next up we have Terror Vision and Video Dead. Terror Vision is so terrible, but it's one of those so bad it's good, man. Video Dead was good. It wasn't a so bad it's good kind of thing, but they're both fun. 86 was Terror Vision, 87 was Video Dead. I wish they would do more of these, man. Then you got Troll and Troll 2, must own. I don't have the one with the documentary on it. That one's out of print. But Troll 2 is one of the worst movies ever made, but it's so bad it's good. Troll 1 is just okay. But yeah, Troll 2 is a must. Then you got X-Ray, aka Hospital Massacre, and Schizoid. Hospital Massacre was fucking awesome, man. It was like it was just exactly what it was. I mean, it was a slasher movie in a hospital. But the front cover makes you think it's an old movie, which it's not. I mean, it's from '83, and then 1980 was the Schizoid. I couldn't get into Schizoid, man, with Klaus Kinski. He's a little too creepy for me. Now we're going to jump over into I don't have very many shot selects. We're going to jump into them. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. I got this for cheap in like a lot. I've heard it's ridiculous. I'll get to it at some point, but it was a cheap. And this is a must own. The Burbs. Incredible movie. 1989, and it's got that awesome documentary in it where Corey Feldman is being a complete piece of shit. Next up is Matinee. I had fun with this one, dude. I had never seen it. You got John Goodman. It's directed by Joe Dante, same guy that directed Burbs, actually. I think. Don't tell me wrong. No, that's right. Yeah. Matinee was fun too, though, dude. Next up, we have Midnight Run. Love this movie. Robert De Niro, Charles Grodin. It's fucking awesome, man. It's got funny parts in it, but it's not a comedy. From 1988. Next up, we have Mr. Mom, classic from the 80s. 1983. Used to watch this all the time as a kid. Still holds up. It's great. Next up, we have Nighthawks. I got this at Best Buy. We had this in store randomly, and it's got my boy Sly Stallone in it, so it's worth checking out. 1981. I need to get Dragnet with the slip. Next up is another one that's a must-own in your collection. Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze. Just some of the best cheese ever. R.I.P. P. Swayze, man. And then last but not least, on the Scream Factories, we have Trespass. This is a Bill Paxton, Ice-T, William Sadler, and Ice Cube movie. This movie's fun, dude. It's like... it's got that early 90s like vibe to it, like that action, I don't want to say thriller. It's just like it's got like a really cool feel to it, man. I enjoyed it. It's got Ice Cube and Ice-T in it, which is awesome. And Bill Paxton, RIP. So that was my entire Scream Factory collection. Now we'll jump into the Arrow video. Peace. Alrighty, we're back. Oh, sorry, I had to take a little break. Now we're going to be getting into my Arrow video collection. There is not that many of these like Scream Factory. I'm slowly building my Arrows. I probably have maybe 30. Maybe. I mean, it's nothing crazy. But we're going to get right into it, man. Let's just move it along. We have Alice, Sweet Alice. Just watched this. This just came in like last week before that. Really great addition. A mid-70s slasher. And it's, you know, Arrow, anybody that's new to the Arrow stuff, Arrow does a great job. You know, they put like a little card like promoting their stuff. This one comes with the poster, and they're really good. It's like the Criterion for horror fans. Does a great job with that on the first initial pressings. That's what they do with it. This movie, I'm not gonna say I didn't like it. I did like parts of it. There are parts of it that were really rough to sit. There's a lot of yelling and screaming and annoying shit like that in it. But it's got a vibe up to it that I thought was cool. Like the little girl in it is really creepy. She does a good job. There's tons of special features. That's the thing about these Arrow releases. The transfers on them are incredible. And it's got a brand new commentary, archival commentary, tons of featurettes. Like that's all the special features on it. So I'm not gonna say I love this movie because I didn't, but I did enjoy parts of it. There was some flaws to it, but at the end of the day, it's a mid-70s slasher. So, I mean, 1976. It's Alice, Sweet Alice. Next up, you talk about a shit show. Basket Case, bro. Me and Tony loved this movie. It was a night where Jordan had some mixing or something to do. He couldn't watch, and I don't think he even has this movie. So me and Tony said this is a perfect night to watch Basket Case. This movie is so bad, bro. But it's one of those movies that's so bad that you have fun with it. It's over the top. The creature in this it's ridiculous, man. The acting is I thought it was awesome, man. I need to get the sequels. I messed around and didn't get them on Best Buy, and now they're sold out on our website, so I have to get them somewhere else. But it came with that slipcover, and if you like really over the top, like super over the top, this is Frank Henenlotter, and that's the kind of stuff that he does. You'll enjoy Basket Case. If you don't, stay away from it. But me and Tony loved it. Next up, we have Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Dario Argento. Big fan of Dario Argento. I'm starting to really get into the Italian horror stuff. I haven't got a chance to watch this yet. I really want to sit and watch a lot of these because I got a lot of his movies and kind of do a ranking of them at some point if y'all want to see that. This is from, that's one thing about Arrow, they're not really good like Scream Factory. This is from 1970, so this is an older one of his. But this has a hard box edition, which I would like to have had, but they're so expensive now. This is not, so this is just the standard one. After that first initial release, you don't get the book. So just keep that in mind if you're collecting Arrows. That's Bird with Crystal Plumage. Next up is one that I just had a lot of fun with, man. I need the slipcover for it. That is Blood Rage. This movie it's really cheesy. It's over the top. It's like a Thanksgiving horror movie. That sounds weird, but that's where it takes place at. 1983. Just good cheese, man. Really good cheese. I have fun with it. I like to watch it once every year around Thanksgiving time. But I need that other one with the slipcover and that extra disc. It's Blood Rage. Next up is Bloody Birthday, which I have a review of on the Triple Flix Mafia channel. It's about killer kids, man. This just came out recently. It's got the book to it as well. That's awesome artwork right there. Really cool. And then it's got like this where it advertises like a random release of theirs. But I recommend this one, man. Now, a lot of these Arrow titles you can find on Amazon Prime if you have a Prime membership, or they do really like cheap sales on Vudu and iTunes, I think, for them. But I enjoy this one a lot, man. 1980. Got a good creepy vibe to it. Check out the review I did for if y'all want to learn more about it. Next, another Frank Henenlotter film that's a lot like Basket Case. That is Brain Damage. Just super over the top, ridiculous gore and practical effects. Got that cool slipcover. There's the alternate artwork, and just decked all the way out, man. Like 2 disc, and then you get the really thick booklet with it. It's not as ridiculous as Basket Case, but they're very close. I look forward to watching this one with Tony, because I think if he liked Basket Case, he's gonna really like this one. And the amount of special features on these is ridiculous. Look at that. It's 88, I believe. Brain Damage. Next up is one that also has a hard box. Well, not a hard box. It's a different edition than this. That's Bride of Reanimator. I think these may be out of print. I'm pretty sure they're re-releasing a lot of this stuff though. I do have the one with the book though. I got this off eBay. I used to have that one big box edition. I ordered it from Hastings back when that was still a thing, and it came like super like creased and dented. So I ended up selling it, but I got it. All this is the same stuff that's with it. What year is this? 89, maybe? Bride of Reanimator. I'm looking forward. I want to do this one. I want to watch Reanimator, this one, and Beyond Reanimator, which I need to get on Vestron. Next is another Dario Argento one that has a hard box edition. I wish I could have grabbed, but I was sleeping on it, and now it's like super expensive. From a year later, 1971, The Cat of Nine Tails. Again, I haven't seen it yet, but this one doesn't have as many features as the other ones, but I look forward to checking it out. I may watch this with Bird of the Crystal Plumage. Next up, I got this from my boy Pete. My buddy Pete is a fan of our YouTube channel, and he also is in a Facebook group with me. He was selling his entire collection. He had tons of stuff. Arrow Video, Screen Factory, 4K, Vinegar Syndrome. He had everything. And he sold me a big lot of stuff, and he threw this one in for a good price. I heard this movie is awful. That is Chill Factor. It just came out recently from Arrow Video, and 1989. When we first heard it was coming out, we was like, "Oh, cool! Like a slasher that takes place like in a snowy setting." But Paul said it's terrible. He said most of the kills are off screen, but we'll check it out soon and find out. I may do like a rant review. Who knows? Chill Factor. Next up is another one that's got an amazing release, and I thought it was really cool. That's Children of the Corn. We watched this about less than a year ago. This is the only one I've ever seen, and this edition got such an awesome treatment. It's got this poster and the booklet with it, and then that artwork is awesome. You know, there's that one. But since it has the slipcover, I put the original artwork there. I love these cases that Arrow has too. They're so awesome. 1986, I think. Let's see. I can't tell, man. Even with these bottle cap glasses, you can't read this fine print they have these in. But there's so many special features in this one. The transfer on this is incredible. I just love the vibe of this. Now, I don't know. I heard the sequels are really garbage, but if I'm cool with just seeing this as a standalone movie, I thought it was really cool. And you got Hans from the Burbs in this too, which is always great. Hey, Pinocchio, where are you going? Love it. Another one that I just thought was so amazingly terrible. Deadbeat by Dawn, man. And I don't know what the deal is with this. I ordered this off Amazon. It came with the slipcovers. I didn't even know it had one. Jordan and Tony ordered it, and it didn't come with one, I think. Or maybe Jordan's did. I can't remember. And I hardly see this with a slipcover. But this movie is, it's so terrible. But it's so fun. It's so bad, it's good. It's that cheesy action that we just love, man. And this is a great addition. So many features on it too. Like you look at the back. Look at that, bro. Like they go all out. 1988, Deadbeat by Dawn. Next up is one that's out of print. It's an Ozploitation film. That's Dead End Drive-In, which I got from Pete. He threw this in for a great price, and it still has the book with it. This is, until they re-release this, it's going for 40, 50 bucks on eBay. But he hooked me up for a good price. And that's an awesome alternate artwork. I haven't watched this yet, but I heard it's really ridiculous and over the top, but fun at the same time. 1986. That's Dead End Drive-In. Next up is another Dario Argento one. Now, I even pre-ordered this one on Bull Moose, the hard box edition, and it sold out before they could ship me mine. I guess they had too many pre-orders, and then by the time I went on Amazon to try to get it, it was like $60. So I was like, well, shit, I'll just go with the regular one. That's Deep Red, another Dario Argento film. This is from '75. So all three of his releases that I've shown have the hard box editions. So if I ever come across those, if I enjoy them, then I'd love to get them. But I may, this one just, it doesn't have the book or anything, but I look forward to checking it out. It's got a lot of special features on it as well. And Deep Red, I wonder if I can't remember if I got that at the Days of the Dead, or I can't remember when I got that one. I did get this at Days of the Dead. Doom Asylum. This movie is so terrible, but I loved it. I did a review for this one on the Triple Flix Mafia channel. It's just ridiculous. It's got that checklist though. It's got good kills. It's so bad it's good. It's got hot chicks. It does what it needs to do, man. The transfers are ridiculous. 1987 Doom Asylum. Next up, another one I got from Pete. This one's out of print. This movie, it's on the same level of batshit as like Basket Case. That is Evil Ed. This movie is ridiculous, dude. Oh, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I just need to show you some pictures from it. Like I'm just going to flip through some of these stills of the movie, just to kind of show you what you're dealing with. I mean, look, and it just, look at this, bro. It's so bad that it's good though. Again, look at that. Oh man. And then last but not least, you got that one. If you can find this online, I definitely suggest that you check it out. I'm gonna tell you right now though, it is ridiculous. That cover art's cool too. That's all I want to say. Just watch the trailer. I showed like the first couple of minutes. I sent it to Jordan and Tony, and they were like, "Oh my god!" Like, so bad, but I loved it. Next up is the hardbox edition of The Hills Have Eyes. Incredible set. They're putting out part 2, which I already have pre-ordered, in a hardbox edition. I heard it's so terrible. There's a dog that has a flashback. But this hardbox, the same way they did Cat o' Nine Tails, Bird with Crystal Plumage, and Deep Red. These hardboxes are just incredible. And then you've got the poster, and then you've got this awesome like book with it. They do such great jobs with this, man. And this movie, which I love, and I love the remake too, but it's just got such a creepy vibe to it, man, in general. And it's got some like poster cards and stuff. But must own if you're a horror movie fan to me. Wes Craven film, loved it, man. Hills Have Eyes. Here was that from? 77. Next up is one that I liked a lot, man. A lot of people don't like it, and that's The Initiation. I thought it was a cool 80s like slasher, man. 1986. Nothing outstanding, but I thought it was fun. I've watched it multiple times, and I thought it was fun. About like a sorority. And came with the book and all that. I don't know if this is out of print or not. But next up, we have Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Got this for a good price. And it's one of those special editions, 1988, with the slipcover. There was one that came out at FYE that had an alternate slipcover that's really cool. And there's another alternate artwork. This movie is terrible. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, it's terrible if you haven't seen it. But it's so terrible, it still gives me like it's got like a cool, so bad it's good kind of vibe to it. I mean, look at the fucking clowns. Clowns creep me out, like, anyways. It's also got the poster too. Just a really well done set, and glad that I have it, man. That's Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Next up is a movie I just watched recently, and I liked it okay. It wasn't, I was hoping to like it a lot more. That's Colobos. Very odd. It's hard to explain, man. Basically, these people go into this house thinking that it's like a reality show, and then shit starts fucking going crazy, and people start getting picked off, and the gore in it's great. The acting is awful, not a good awful. And then at the end it gets weird, but it's still cool though. I still liked it. It was cool. Just a random release, I thought, but it's Colobos. That was, I want to say, from either late 90s, early 2000s, I want to say. Next up is another amazing hardbox edition of The Last House on the Left, the original. Man, this edition is amazing. That is so awesome. And then you get the, well, that's just the J card. Then you get that thick book that's with it that's really cool. You get the poster. And then you get, there's the original artwork, which is just awesome. You get the Blu-ray, 2-disc Blu-ray, and you get the soundtrack, which is just awesome. And then you get like poster cards. This is a rough watch, man. It's a 70s horror film, but it's rough to watch. If you've seen the remake, obviously the one from the mid 2000s, it's not, that one's not as rough to watch as this one. This one's a rough watch, but I still really enjoy it, man. Super creepy. It gives you that vibe after you watch it, like you just feel like gross after watching it. But it's a horror movie. That's what it's supposed to do, man. Last House on the Left. Next up is one of these so bad that it's good, The Mutilator. He threw this in for me for free, man. I just needed the slipcover with it, and he gave me the whole Blu-ray with the slipcover. So shout out to Pete again. It's AKA Fall Break. This movie is so terrible, bro. But I've watched this movie 3 times. The first time I watched it with Skeggs, I hated it. But then I rewatched it. I was like, man, this movie's so bad. I looked at it like in a different way. And it's so bad, but I had fun with it because it's so bad. And it's a 2-discer, Blu-ray disc, DVD. And there's the artwork. And the theme song is one of the most incredible theme songs to any horror movie. The Mutilator. Next up is another one that's got a hardbox edition, the Reanimator. I got this one for cheap. I can't remember what it was on. It was online somewhere. Look forward to checking this out, man. I wish I would have been able to get the one with the book and all that, but maybe I'll find them sometime. Look forward to checking all these out. Next up is The Slayer, a slasher movie from '81. Look forward to checking this out. I'm probably gonna do a review for this one, man. This one looks like a lot of fun. It's got some really cool practical effects, and the acting's terrible in it. And it also came with the booklet too, so look forward to checking that one out. Next up, we have Slugs, which I think is out of print. I think they're putting it back out in November, though. 1986. Great creature feature. Completely cheese-tastic. And it came with the book. One of my favorite Arrow releases, The Stuff. Shout out to Mo Rutherford. Ridiculous movie, but I loved it. Mo Rutherford in this is insane. He's just... 1986, man. The Stuff. I think that's out of print too. Another one that I got from Pete, an Italian horror movie from Sergio Martino, Torso. I know Tony's got this one as well from 1973. Like I said, I'm getting to where we're really getting into the Italian horror, so I look forward to checking this out with him. Next up, we have Trapped Alive, which just came out in the last month or so, from '88. This looks really bad, but it looks like it could be fun though. We all 3 ordered this one, so look forward to checking it out. It's got the book with it as well. Next up is another one that I enjoyed. I don't know if it's out of print or not, from '86. That's Vamp. Cool vampire movie, man. I'm not really into vampire movies a whole lot, but I thought this one was great. Grace Jones is terrifying in this movie. And last but not least, on my Arrow films, I've got Weird Science. So glad they put this out. It's so kind of random too, but hopefully this is like a direction that they're going to be getting more John Hughes films, like Uncle Buck or 16 Candles or Pretty. I mean, I'm down for any of them. I'm not a big fan of Ferris Bueller though, but This is an amazing release, bro. It's got the booklet. It comes with a slip cover. Tons of special features. I need to rewatch it. I've seen it multiple times, obviously, when I had the regular Blu-ray. But tons of special features on it, man. 4K restoration. And I can't wait to dig into this one. That is Weird Science. One of the best slipcovers I've ever done, too. So, but yeah, that's my Arrow collection, baby. Alrighty. Next up, we have my Vinegar Syndrome collection. Okay. I have more of these than I have Arrow, and this has just been amassing pretty quickly. These have become some of my funnest things to collect, is the Vinegar Syndrome stuff. Granted, the titles they get aren't as good as Arrow and Scream Factory, but the treatment that they get is amazing. The slipcovers are by far better than any of the other ones. The presentation of it, the transfer of it, I think the guys that do the transfers for here do the transfers for Arrow as well. The titles aren't as good, though. Some of them are, though, but they're kind of hit and miss. I've seen half of these. I just got most of these the last couple weeks. We're going to get right into it. First one is The Battle for the Lost Planet and Mutant War. This looks like insane cheese. Paul has seen it and said it's incredibly terrible, which is what I want it to be. That's what I look for in these kind of things. Looks like just a ridiculous sci-fi from 85 and 88. And that's all I need it to be, man. I need it to be terrible, but fun. And if it can do that, then that's what I want. And that is Battle for the Lost Planet and Mutant War. That's the first one. Next up, we've got Blood Harvest. Super weird movie, man. I enjoyed it, but it's misleading. It makes you think that the cover, like, it's misleading. I'll just say that. But I enjoyed it. It's very weird, though. Like, very weird. It's got a little small booklet with it. They do Blu-ray DVD combos a lot of the time. This movie is from 86. The clown in it's pretty creepy. Anybody that's a clown is just weird to me. But I had fun with it, man. Again, it's not great. It's awkward. The music in it is weird. Acting in it's weird, but I enjoyed it, though. It's like a cringe. It's kind of like cringy. You know what I mean? But next up, we got Bloody New Year, which I got from Pete. I got a lot of these from Pete the last couple weeks. I've heard this one's an odd one. I want to say this is from 86. I mean, look at that right there. Again, these releases are just done so well. Different artwork, Blu-ray DVD combo. Love the clear cases. The slip covers are super like durable. I love them. It's Bloody New Year. Next up is one that I did a review of on this channel. That is Body Melt. Great Ozploitation film. It's super gory, over the top, ridiculous, gross. But I had fun with it, man. 1993. The slipcover is incredible. That's Body Melt. Next up is one that I haven't watched it. I got it from Pete, and that is The Children, another Killer Kids movie. Looks pretty crazy. 1980. Paul's my go-to guy when I find out about what's good and what's not from these. He enjoyed this one, and I got it from Pete for a good price. Next up is another one I got from Pete, and that is The Corruption of Chris Miller. This is like a mid-70s film, 1973. Don't know a lot about it. Kind of heard it's a hit and miss on it, but he was giving me really great deals on these, and it's one of those things with Vinegar Syndromes. If you don't like them, you can sell them and double or triple your value. So it's not so much harm if you don't like it. Next up is Cutting Class, which I have such a good time with. I have a review for it on the Flix Mafia channel. Look at a little Brad Pitt there. There's a basketball scene that's ridiculous in this movie. And there's like a roundhouse kick scene. It's great, man. It's a great time. What year was this from? 88. There's like 5 or 6 different slip covers for this one. Paul got me this one from his honey hole shop that he goes to, like a place that sells nothing but boutique horror stuff. And this was the slip that they had, and I was cool with that, man. I just wanted it with the slip. Cutting Class. Next up is another one I got from Pete, Death by Temptation. Looks like a cool like hood horror movie from 1990 with Kadeem Hardison. And Paul said it's a good time, so look forward to checking that out. I'm really starting to go through these vinegars too the last couple of weeks. Next up, we have Demonoid, which I got off of eBay for a really good price with it having the slipcover. It's been out with Vinegar Syndrome for years, but they just did a re-release with the slipcover from 1980. Tony and Jordan have seen it, so they didn't really care for it, but again, I wanted to pick it up. Plus, if I don't like it, this slipcover's already sold out, so Demonoid. Next up is Demon Wind. This movie's okay. It's nothing great, but I got this in a lot from Pete, 1984. Got that lentickety doodah going on too. Another one I got from Pete, Disconnected. This one's super out of print too. 1984. Paul said this one is awful. So this may end up getting flipped down the road, but I'll get to it at some point. Blu-ray DVD combo there. This is one of those that sold out, and it goes for 60, 70 bucks on eBay. It's Disconnected. Next up is a new line that they're doing. I can't remember what it's called, like the Vintage or something. This is Evil Town. I had such a good time with this one. It's got this slip cover that opens from like the bottom, and it's like a hard box, kind of like Arrow does. I had a lot of fun with this one, man. It comes with the poster as well. It's just the Blu-ray, which who needs a DVD, you know what I mean? It's called Evil Town, and this has got some of the best titties I've ever seen in an 80s horror movie. 1985, and she's naked for a lot of the movie too. But it's got a cool vibe to it, like outside of me being a pervert, I had a lot of fun with it. Check this one out if you get a chance. Evil Town. Another one that I thought was cool, Grandmother's House or Grandma's House. Got that one with the slipcover for a good price on eBay. Somebody really didn't know what they had. I got it for like 20, 25 bucks. It goes for about 50. 1988. You get Uncle Leo in this movie, dude, is the grandfather, which is just so awesome. But I had fun with it. Towards the last 30 minutes, it gets kind of ridiculous. But next up, we have Grave Robbers. Another one that I think I got from Pete, or I got this one from eBay, one of the two. 1988. Paul said this is insane. It looks insane. Like a little necrophilia going on, so that's going to be kind of fun to check out. Grave Robbers. Next up, we have The House of the Dead, anthology film I got from Tony. He watched it once and said he probably wouldn't watch it more than once, so he sold it to me. Look forward to checking it out, man, aka Alien Zone. This is from 1978. Next up, we've got House on Tombstone Hill, aka The Dead Come Home, aka Dead Dudes in the House. This is ridiculous, but I had fun with it. 1988. Is it a trauma? It's a trauma film. So it's a trauma film, so that really can tell you a lot right there. But the killer is ridiculous. The movie's ridiculous. It's a trauma film. But I'm not a huge fan of trauma, but I like this one. House on Tombstone Hill. Next up, we got one I'll be doing a review for soon. The Ice Cream Man, Clint Howard. This movie's ridiculous. 1994. Wish they would have got the rights to get that artwork, but they didn't. That artwork's still cool. This movie's super weird, man. I like it, but it's just hard to explain. That movie's just, it's very awkward. Very weird movie. Next up is another one that I enjoyed, Incubus. This one came out in 1981, of course. This is about an entity that's raping this lady, the whole movie. It's ghost rape, pretty much. Well, it's not really ghost rape, demon rape, I guess you could say. It's a genre that some people don't care for, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was creepy as shit. Incubus. Next up is one of the first vinegar that I got, and I love it. Jack Frost. So ridiculous, but we love it, man. It's one we watch every Christmas time. 1996. It's so bad, but it's so fun. Jack Frost 2 is god awful though. It's unwatchable. Next up is The Killing Kind. I got this off eBay for about $16 with the slip. I believe it's sold out too. This is 1973. Early 70s horror can kind of be tricky. Sometimes it can be boring, but we'll see. Of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was from that same year. So next up we have Mausoleum, which I enjoyed. This one's super out of print. This slipcover's, this one with the slips going for about 60, 70 bucks. 1982. It's creepy. It's basically about, you know, at the beginning of the movie, it shows this girl going to this mausoleum and she basically gets possessed, and it fast forwards to when she's grown up and shit's just taking over stuff. But I thought it was good, man. And that slipcover is my favorite one they've ever done. Next up is Mountaintop Motel Massacre. Say that 3 times fast. We're going to be watching this soon. This came out a few months back, 1983. I heard this one's very weird. Look at that. I always remember seeing this artwork, though. Well, it doesn't even have the artwork I wanted to have. The one like the woman holding the door, opening the door, making that crazy face. I don't know if they just didn't have the rights to it or what. What year was this? 83. But look forward to checking it out. Next up, we have Night Beast. I absolutely love this movie. It is so awful. But it's one of my favorite so awful it's good movies now. It's just so bad, man. But it's one of those movies that's so terrible, it knows it's terrible. And you have such a fun time with it, man. Definitely recommend you checking out Night Beast. Next up, we got these two. We got Penitentiary and Penitentiary 2. Blaxploitation films from 79 and 82. Paul said they're a good time. They look like he said they're just good cheesy action. There's part 1. Part 2 looks really good. You got Mr. T in part 2. Look at Mr. T. Classic. But look forward to checking these out, man. I'll probably do like Paul did and just double feature them one day. Penitentiary 1 and 2. Next up, we have Psycho Cop Returns. Got this, I can't remember if I got it on eBay or if I got it from Pete. I bought so many from him. 1992, sorry. But I gotta find the first one before I watch this one. But I wanted to go ahead and get this one. It's super out of print, so it's one of the earlier ones that they did. Next up, we have Raw Force, which is supposed to be it's like one of those cheesy action movies. I think Tony and Jordan saw it, said it was okay. I think they sold theirs, but I look forward to checking it out. It came with that, they re-released it with that really awesome slipcover too, so, you know, it's already sold out. Next up is the one that's in the same line as Evil Town, and that is Savage Harbor, aka Death Feud, with Frank Stallone. This looks awful, but it looks like my kind of awful. It's got the poster with it and stuff too. You got Frank Stallone, damn it. You know what I mean? Bro, so he's like my uncle, because Sly Stallone's my uncle. Frank Stallone would be kind of like that uncle that I don't see very much, though. You know what I mean? Next up, we have Slaughterhouse with that split cover, which is so cool. The movie itself, though, is just okay. I was hoping it'd be a lot better. 1987. It's still got some cool parts to it, but it's nothing outstanding. It was just kind of disappointing. But with this split cover, that is super dope, man. So cool. And I think they're doing the same thing with Hell Comes to Frogtown. Just another way Vinegar Syndrome's setting themselves apart from everybody else. Next up is Splatter University, which Jordan said this is terrible. 1984. I mean, the trailer alone is so crazy. But it'll be fun, I'm sure, even if it's bad. Next up, we have another one that's so bad it's good. The Suckling. It's about an aborted fetus that gets toxic waste spilled on it and it starts killing people. That's all you need to know. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at this thing. The kill scenes in this are, just comedy gold. Next up, we have There's Nothing Out There, which we have watched. We thought it was okay. I wasn't going to get this one, and then I saw it for a really good price, and I went ahead and just pulled the trigger on it. Again, the slip's not sold out on this one yet, but it will at some point. This is 1990. Next up is The Uninvited. I had fun with this one, man. It's really bad. It's about a cat that's got like... Okay, we're moving along, man. Had to take a little bit of a break and get some stuff handled. Now we've shown you my Scream Factories. We've shown you my Arrows, Vinegar Syndromes. Now we're going to show you the rest of my boutique labels. It's kind of miscellaneous stuff. And then we'll finish off with just the regular Blu-rays and DVDs. So from Severin, I got Burial Ground. Haven't had a chance to watch this one yet, but Tony said it is insane. He's got a review for it on the Triple Flix Mafia channel. I want to check it out. It looks ridiculous. So there's Burial Ground. Got the Masked Mutilator, which Tony watched. Didn't like it, sold it to Paul. Paul watched it, said it's ridiculous. I need to watch it myself. Next up, we have a Severin edition of Next to Kin, which was a slipcover exclusive at their website. I have a review of this on the Triple Flix channel. I enjoyed it, man. It got a really creepy vibe to it. And this slipcover's dope. It kind of feels like poster board, but it's cool. Next up is Robo War. We expected this to be a lot cheesier and more terrible than it was. It still was really cheesy, but a lot didn't happen in it, but it was still cool. Next up is Skinner. This is a Severin release that I should have gotten at Days of the Dead, and I didn't. I ended up getting it off Best Buy's website, and it came with the slipcover. Ted Raimi, Ricky Lake, and Tracy Lords. Heard this is a lot of fun. I know Paul's a fan of it. This is a Scorpion release of Shredder. Wanted this to be a lot better than it was, man. We had high hopes for Shredder. Another horror movie that takes place in a snowy setting. The edition is amazing. Comes with a poster. I got it off Ronin Flix. This is a Scorpion releasing. It looks like Devin Whitehead did the artwork for this. It doesn't say who did it. But it was cool. It wasn't nothing outstanding though. But Shredder. Another one. This is from Code Red, but I also got it at Ronin Flix. That is Spasms. Another creature feature. Look forward to checking this one out. A lot of these are newer to the collection. So look forward to checking this out. It looks insane. Like, look at some of the still shots from it. It's pretty crazy. Next up, another one from Scorpion releasing, The Unseen. Another great slipcover there for that one. A lot of special features. Got a 2K scan of it. Jordan says it's cool. It's nothing outstanding, but Ronin Flix does a great job, man. The shipping's extra fast. Does a really good job. Now this next 5 titles are Vestrons. Don't have a lot of Vestrons, but here's just a few of them. Number 5 in the collection is Chud 2. Got this off Jordan for super cheap. He gave me a good deal on it, man. I'll be picking up Chud, the first one, again once they re-release it on Arrow. I like the first Chud. I heard this one's terrible, but we'll see. Next up is number 14 in the line, and that is Class of 1999. These Vestrons, man, they're very overpriced. They don't really have a lot of features to them. They're not great titles. This is from 1990. I got this for cheap off eBay, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Next one is number 17 in the line, and that is Maximum Overdrive. This one's good cheese, man. This has got some good cheese to it. 1986. This is number 17 in the line, like I said. But they don't have alternate artwork. They're just regular Blu-rays. This one has a lot of features to it, but most of them don't. But yeah. Oh, I have these in numerical order, not in. Alphabetical order, not numerical order. Number 4 in the line, Return of the Living Dead 3. You know, I'm a huge fan of 1 and 2. 3's okay. It's the weakest of the 3. But I had fun with it. And this is from 1992. So. And last of my Vestrons, number 12 on the line, Slaughter High. I got this very cheap on eBay as well, for like $14 maybe. This is from 1986. I heard this one's pretty bad too, but I'll give Vestrons a shot at that price because you can always resell them. The guy I bought it from, I don't think knew what he had. So that's my Vestrons. Like I said, I only just have a handful of those. Next up, we'll show you my Kibos. We call them Kibos or Kino Lorber. I just have one. That's Highway to Hell. This one's not great, but there's something about it that I do enjoy, man. 1991, you got Ben Stiller making an appearance in it. It's got a creepy vibe to it. It's super cheesy. So that's the only Kino one I have as far as Blu-rays. Next up, I have the Eureka release of Fright Nights. This is an amazing addition to this movie. This movie's cool. It's nothing. I don't love Fright Night, but I do enjoy it. The transfer on this is incredible. It's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack. And the special features on this are crazy, man. You get a 4K transfer. You get tons of special features, interviews. And the cool thing about this is it is region free, so you can watch it on any player. Next up, I just have two more. I have two of the Umbrella releases. First one is the remake of Night of the Living Dead. Really big fan of this one. I used to have it on, what's it called? Twilight Time. This is a much better edition. This Umbrella releasing is region free. I'm a big fan of this one. I wish Screen Factory would get a hold of it, but I'm cool with this one for now. And I also, for now, have Silver Bullet. This is for sale if anybody wants it, because Screen Factory is putting out a collector's edition of it, so I will switch to that one. I'm a big fan of Silver Bullet. I know that some people aren't. I know Jordan and Tony didn't like it all that much, but I thought it was fun. The effects in it are really bad, but I still enjoyed it. And next up, we're going to show you my MVD visuals. I only got 4 of these. Nothing outstanding, but just 4. I look to build these up, though. Got Abominable. This one's really, really bad, man, but it was a good time. We had fun with this one. It's nothing spectacular. MVD visual gives you the poster with it. No interior artwork. The discs are just plain Jane, but they still have good touches to them. I love these slip covers. The slip covers are like old school, you know, like with the stickers and stuff on them. So that's Abominable. I also got Lionheart. Clint from MVD Visual sent me this one. Shout out to him. I look forward to revisiting this. I hope this is the one that doesn't have the messed up audio. I know there was issues with the audio in this one or something. But tons of special features. Good old Van Damme cheese. Next up is one that is not very good, but Return of the Return of Swamp Thing. We watched this one a few months back, and it's kind of a stinker, to be honest with you, but it is what it is. Got the poster and everything with it. And last but not least on my MVD visuals is Showdown. Me and Paul are going to watch this soon. This looks like amazing cheese. I got this from Clint from MVD Visual as well. It has a regular Blu-ray case. I don't know why it's not white, but it's all good. There's several that I still want to get, so if there's anybody watching this that has any of these for sale with the slip covers, let me know, because I'm trying to build the MVD visual line up. So there's those. Continuing on, we're going to go to my Synapse, which I have a handful, nothing crazy. First off, from Synapse, we have Demons. Huge fan of Demons 1 and 2, 1 especially. Great Italian horror. Dario Argento presents this one. It's filmed by Lamberto Bava. Great cheese, good gore. Same with this one. Dario Argento presents Lamberto Bava's Demons 2. Didn't enjoy this one as much, but it's still ridiculous cheese, though. Next up is one that I'm a huge fan of. Great slasher, Intruder. The entire movie takes place in a grocery store, which I think's really cool. I'm a big fan of this one. I've watched this one several times. Got some really good kills in it. Next up is Maniac Cop. Big fan of this one too. Kills are like every 5-7 minutes we were timing it. I need to get the sequels, man, but I want to make sure I get them with the slips. I know they're on Blue Underground, so that's a fun one. And now we're gonna get into some more Argento goodness. Phenomena. What year was this one from, man? I know he's. It doesn't say. Synapse is shoo for not putting on here. Oh, well, fuck it. Again, another Argento, and I look forward to checking out. This is one that I really liked, man. I wish I could. Well, I don't want to collect steelbooks, but Popcorn, man. This was a lot of fun. Takes place in a theater similar to Demons. I had a lot of fun with this one, bro. I don't know why there's a 2-disc set with this. As far as I know, it's just the Blu-ray that it comes in, but I mean, even if there was, I don't think there was supposed to be a DVD with it. Tons of special features, man. Definitely recommend Popcorn if you get a chance to check it out. It's a good one. Another one, a Dario Argento, Suspiria. I have watched this one. This one's great. 1977. This artwork's awesome. I know this got some kind of special edition as well. There's that one. I love that artwork too. That looks like Joel Robinson did that, man. But yeah, Suspiria. Another one from Dario Argento, Tenebrae. Haven't watched this one, but Tony and Jordan said it was great. This is from '82. I got this at a package deal at the Days of the Dead convention from the Vinegar Syndrome guy. So I'm wondering if he did the transfers for these from '82. Look forward to checking it out. And last but not least, this is one that I got when I ordered from Best Buy. I ordered, I can't remember which one of these films it was that I ordered. I want to say it was Phenomena or something. No, it was one of my Blue Undergrounds that I ordered, and this just got thrown in there. I've never had this on my wish list, anything, but they threw it in there, and I couldn't return it because I never paid for it. It was a .com issue, so I just got to keep it. Twins of Evil. I have no clue what this movie's about. It looks really ridiculous, from 1971. I believe it may be it's a Hammer horror film. It was free 99, so I'm not gonna complain about it, you know what I mean? But that is Twins of Evil. So that is my synapse, just like a handful, nothing crazy. Now here is my handful of Blue Underground. Another Dario Argento film, Inferno. This one looks awesome, man. Again, I need to set aside like a 2 or 3 day block and just go through these films so I can do like a review of all the ones that I have. 1980. This trailer looks super creepy, man. This was a Blue Underground title I got off BestBuy.com for like 12 bucks. Next up, these new 4K transfers are awesome. Maniac. This is a movie that I didn't like a lot the first time I watched it. Then we rewatched it, and I had a lot better of appreciation for it. But this edition is amazing, bro. Like, you get a soundtrack, you get a 3-disc set, you get a booklet. The transfer on them are awesome. They're 4K transfers, tons of extras, and you get that really cool lenticular slip. That's Maniac. They're doing these a lot with these editions. Next one is another one I hadn't got to watch yet, but that's the New York Ripper. This is a 4-disc or 3-disc edition, 4K transfer. Just getting that awesome treatment with the booklet, the soundtrack, Blu-ray, DVD, CD soundtrack, and this lenticular slip is a nice touch for it. That's New York Ripper. Then we've got The Prowler. This is a great slasher film. Jordan had been trying to get me to watch it for years. We finally did. Another one from 1981. That's maybe you'll get a good 4K transfer like these did. And last but not least is Lucio Fulci's Zombie. Another one of these Blue Underground editions. They got the 4K treatment with the soundtrack, the Blu-ray, DVD, and booklet. Look forward to revisiting this one. There was several different slipcovers you could have got for this one. I picked this one. I like this one the best. I got it on Best Buy's website. Okay. These next 3. Well, I only have one. Well, no, I have 2, actually. I only have 2 88 Films releases. I sold the ones that I had because I want to get them on other versions. But I did keep these. The first one is Don't Go Into the Woods. I know that this is going to have this does have a Vinegar Syndrome release, which I'll probably end up buying that one and selling this one if anybody wants it. It's region free. I'd rather just have the Vinegar Syndrome. Nothing against 88 Films. I'd rather get them on other companies. They don't have subtitles, and there's a few features on here, but yeah, Cheese Fest right there. Don't Go Into the Woods. This one is amazing. It's one of the worst movies I own, but I love it. Nail Gun Massacre. This is the alternate artwork. Of course, that's, in the red case, that's what it is. I just turned it over on the other side because you don't have all those stickers on the front. This one is so bad it's good, man. This is one of the most terrible movies I've ever seen, but I loved it. It's so bad, though. Okay, and then this one are just a couple lower end, independent company films. This is the Never Hike Alone. This is the Womp Stomp Films edition. We pre-ordered this as soon as they went up, and this is a great addition to this. This is an awesome fan-made Jason film. Get the autograph. Mine's number 542 of 1750. Look forward to seeing that other one that's coming out that my boy Ivey's gonna have a cameo in, that Slash and Cast is doing. So, and also another one that's like an independent one. I look forward to the sequel of this one is The Fear Footage. People shit all over this movie, man. We've watched it twice, and I thought it was effective. Is it a perfect movie? Absolutely not. It's an independent movie, so there's like CGI rain that's bad. There's a couple of CGI parts that are bad. Overall, though, I had fun with it, dude. We watched it twice. It scared me both times. That's all I wanted it to do. So I had fun with that, man. Now, before we get into the horror movies, these are like my cheesy action movies that are kind of just randos, but I put them with this like miscellaneous stuff. We've got Band of the Hand. Haven't watched this yet, but it looks amazingly terrible. This is just action cheese. Mill Creek put this out. I got it for dirt cheap with my discount. We've got Deadly Prey, which I know we're going to be watching that soon. This is Olive Films version. I heard it's so bad it's good. Another Mill Creeker. We got Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I need to get all these versions. It's just super cheesy action, man. I look forward to checking it out. And this is one of the cheesiest action movies of all time. Miami Connection. So awesome, dude. It's just top of the line cheese fest right there. And then we've got Samurai Cop, which is right up there with it. So bad it's good. It's unbelievably terrible. But I love every minute of it. So that's those. And then we're going to finish off with just my regular horror movies. And we're going to get through this. Alrighty. We're rounding, I don't want to say we're rounding third. We're rounding second. So this is my just miscellaneous, like just alphabet, like A through Z horror movies with Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, stuff that's not a boutique line. We're going to go through these quick though. 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later, 2-pack. Love that one. 30 Days a Night, great vampire flick. 31, disappointing movie, could have been so much better, but I still like parts of it. 47 Meters Down, good shark film. I heard the sequel's terrible. I'm gonna be seeing it soon though. 976 Evil. My boy Pete threw this in for free just because I referred Paul to him. Paul bought a lot of stuff from him, so he threw me this in for free with the slip. I heard it's bad, but it was free. Afflicted, good vampire movie, man. Super underrated. I always talk about that. Nobody else ever seems to talk about it. I think it's great though. Aftershock, which is like a horror / disaster movie that Nicholas Lopez directed. It was produced by Eli Roth. Then we got 4K. We got the 40th anniversary of Alien. Great movie. And I've sold the other Aliens on Blu-ray because I know they'll get a 4K at some point. I got Alien Covenant 4K. I liked Alien Covenant. 4K of American Psycho. Crazy movie. Amityville Horror Remake. Not really a big fan of it like a lot of people are, but it's still in the collection. American Werewolf in London. I will be selling this because it's getting an awesome Arrow hardbox edition in October. We got the Annabelle, the first one. It's all right. Really enjoyed this one though, Annabelle Creation. Haven't seen Annabelle Comes Home. I'll buy it when it comes out. I didn't get a chance to see it at the theater. Got Anaconda, great cheese. As Above, So Below, great movie, man. Creepy as fuck, very claustrophobic. I love it. Bad Samaritan. Me and Ivy saw this on a whim when I had my movie pass. We both loved it, man. It's really a suspense thriller, but I put it in horror. Black Christmas DVD, the remake. I think it's great, man. Blair Witch. I like it. Blair Witch Project. Classic. Bloodfest, man. I thought this one was fun. This was one that nobody really talked about. It was kind of an independent deal. It came out right around Hellfest, and I think people were getting it confused. It's not like Hellfest. I enjoyed it. Bones DVD. It's bad, but it's fun. Bone Tomahawk, great like horror western. Cabin Fever, again, I wish it would get a Scream Factory Collector's Edition. I love this movie. Cabin in the Woods 4K. Weird movie, but I liked it. Charlie's Farm, huge fan of this. Wish it would get some kind of special treatment. It's only got a DVD in the US, I think. Got Christmas Horror Story. This was cool, man. This was kind of, I didn't expect it to be any good, but it was way better than I thought. Then we got the 4K of Christine. One of the only Carpenter movies that Scream Factory hasn't put out. I don't know that they will, now that it's got a 4K release, but who knows. And like I said earlier in the video, 7 hours ago, got the Chucky 7 movie collection. This has the Child's Play 1, and you got Child's Play 2 and 3, Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, and Cult of Chucky. And I'll be purchasing the new one when it comes out. It's only getting a Blu-ray release, which is, I mean, it's fine with me because, for one, that movie's not that great. Two, all the other ones I have are Blu-ray anyway, so. Got Cloverfield 4K. I'm a fan of Cloverfield. A lot of people aren't, but I'm a fan of it. As well as 10 Cloverfield Lane 4K. John Goodman did great in this movie. Clown, big fan of this. Another one Eli Roth produced. Creepy as shit to me, man. Got some really cool elements to it. The Conjuring, like I said, I like The Conjuring 1 and 2. Here's Conjuring Part 2. I know they came out with slipcover editions of that, but I don't have the slipcovers for the first Conjuring or the first Annabelle, and I didn't want to buy those movies again just for the slipcovers. I'm fine with those. They'll eventually get a 4K anyway, I'm sure. The Crazies remake, really enjoyed that one. I need to get the Arrow video of the first one. Crystal Lake Memories, the complete history of Friday the 13th. If you are a horror movie fan, you definitely need to buy this, man. They go through each Friday the 13th in depth. It's so great, man. Another one I hope gets a special edition. I know there's another edition in another country that's amazing, and that's Cujo. I wish we could get it in the U.S. to where it's not Region B. I love Cujo, man. It's a great movie. Next up, we've got Deep Blue Sea. Oh, let me get situated here. There we go. Got Deep Blue Sea. Good shark movie. Got Devil's Rejects, my favorite horror movie sequel of all time. Love it. The Domestics. I got this cheap at CD Warehouse. Ivy said it's okay. I haven't watched it yet, but Don't Breathe. The first movie me and Ivy went and saw at the theater. This movie's great, man. So creepy. The Evil Dead remake. I know there's like an unrated version I need to get. It's just too expensive. If I find it cheap, I'll get it. And there's the 4K of Evil Dead Part 1, classic horror. And Evil Dead Part 2, 4K. Got The Faculty. This is a Miramax Echo Bridge release. I guess it's out of print. I don't know. Hopefully it'll get a better treatment than this. This is a horrible edition of this, but it's a cool movie. Final Girls. Big fan of this movie. Even though it's PG-13 horror, I still had a lot of fun with it. Got the 4-pack of Final Destination 1, 2, 3, and 4. Huge fan of the trilogy. 4 and 5 are kind of whatever. Here's Final Destination 5. I have all 5 of them. I think, you know, with 3, with 1, God, I can't get settled. Let's just do this. Get my Reese's out the way, man. You know what I'm saying? We just making this shit pop. Found Footage 3D. I'm a fan of this one, dude. This was just a Walmart pickup. It's pretty good, man. It's nothing outstanding, but I thought it was fun. It was like a $10 pickup. Frankenstein's Army, a movie that I've talked about to everybody for years. Tony and Jordan finally watched it and thought it was great, and I'm so glad they did because I'm so hype on it. I love it. Terrifying movie. Then I've got the 8-movie collection of the Friday the 13th set. I had that Big 10 and I sold it for like 200 and something bucks when they announced this because I'm fine with just having these. Friday the 13th Part 1, you got Part 2, Part 3, and then you got Final Chapter, which is Part 4. And then you got 5 and 6 on one disc, 7 and 8 on the other. So you get the 8 films there. And then I have the DVD 2-pack of Jason Goes to Hell and Jason Exodus with $2, $3. I don't like either one of these movies, but I wanted to have them to have the collection complete, and I figure that's the cheapest way to get them. And then I have the remake, which is on this 3-pack. You got Friday the 13th Killer Cut remake, Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which is garbage, and then Freddy vs. Jason. So I got the whole Friday the 13th set there. And we've got Frozen. Great movie, dude. takes place in a, you know, like on a ski lift. But it's so creepy, man. Huge fan of that. And we got Get Out, Jordan Peele's Get Out. I think this movie's good. I think it's overrated though, but I still like it. Then we got Gungeon Haunted Asylum. Jordan was telling me to get this one. It was $5 at CD Warehouse, so I figured I'd give it a shot at some point. Next up, we have Green Room. This is basically a suspense thriller, but I put it in horror. This movie's great, dude. If you haven't seen this, go find a way to watch it. It's so good. Next up, we have the Quentin Tarantino. Well, he directed one of them, obviously. The Grindhouse 2-pack. You have Planet Terror and Death Proof. So there's the 2-pack of that. Let's make this thing happen, Captain. What else we got cracking off? The Grudge. One I see getting a special release from somebody at some point. This is an old Blu-ray release. You can tell by that bottom of it. I like it though. And then I've got the Rob Zombie theatrical versions of Halloween and H2. Again, I'm not a fan of H2, but I'm gonna watch that with the guys because they're my buddies. Hopefully it'll be better. It can't, well, I don't want to say it can't be worse because I hated the second one, but anyway. Halloween 2018 4K. It's like middle of the road with me. I think it's all right. It's very flawed though. It's not one of my favorites. It's probably my 5th favorite one. Then we've got one of the best, well, not one of the best horror movie of all time, Halloween, the original, on 4K. Transfer looks good on it, nothing great. Lionsgate's kind of okay with those transfers. Then we've got Kino Lorber. This is a Kino Lorber too. 4K of Hannibal, which is kind of random that they're putting out 4Ks, but I think it's cool. I got this for like $18. They don't come with digital copies though. And then we've got the Hatchet collection. We've got Hatchet. Huge fan of the first one. Hatchet 2, Hatchet 3, and Hatchet 4, Victor Crowley. They progressively get worse to me. Not really a fan of part 4, but got Hellfest 4K. Big fan of Hellfest. I don't know why I got so much shit dropped on it. Hereditary, one of my favorite horror movies. Well, my second favorite movie of 2018. I love that movie. Hills Have Eyes remake. Love it. Great remake. The DVD of Hills Run Red. This was solid, man. This wasn't nothing special. It was like a $4 movie on Best Buy's website after my discount. It's definitely worth $4. And then I got this thanks to my boy Friday the 14th. He gave it to me. The Hitcher DVD. This is the remake. I'm a fan of this one. I haven't seen the first one but one time, and it's been a long time. I hope that it gets a better release. But yeah, I enjoyed that one, man. We got The House of the Devil. Creepy as fuck. Slow burn, but that last half hour is terrifying. Then we've got Hobo with a Shotgun. I don't have the slip for this, but it's fine. This is a really great movie. Rutger Hauer, rest in peace. Then we got Hostel and Hostel 2. I would love to see Scream Factory get these. I don't know if they ever will, but it seems like they're awesome. It seems like that they're working with Eli Roth pretty good, so maybe they'll get it. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? We got Houses That October Built and Houses October Built 2. Great movies. Part 1 is a master. I don't want to say masterpiece. That's a little much, but it's really good. And Part 2 is good, and then the ending gets kind of wonky, but it's still good. House of a Thousand Corpses definitely needs better treatment than that crappy Blu-ray. Love that movie. The first half of it. How great werewolf movie, takes place on a train. Identity. I love this movie. I wish it would get a better release too. It's just one of those bare bones early Blu-rays. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I enjoy it. Hopefully it gets a better release. I thought it was going to get a Scream Factory announcement, but not yet. That's out of print too. Then I got Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Not near as good, but I don't have the third one. And then now we'll show the Insidious movies. I got Insidious. Great movie. Insidious Chapter 2. It's okay. 3 I didn't really care for. And then Last Key was just whatever. I would go 1, 2, 4, 3 if I had to put them in order. Then we got the 4K of the It remake. Cannot wait for the next one next month. Then we've got the original It with that slip cover. Watching it now, it's just not near as good as I remember it when I was little. It Follows. Super creepy movie, dude. I love it. And then we've got the Jaws series. I got Jaws, one of the greatest movies ever. Jaws 2, I like it. 3, dog shit. And The Revenge, dog shit. Joyride, big fan of this movie. Haven't seen 2 or 3. I'm sure they're probably not near as good, but would love to see this get a special edition from somebody. This is just one I picked up at McKay's. It probably is terrible, but like I said earlier, I'm a fan of horror movies that takes place in amusement parks and theme parks and carnivals. And this is called Killer Holiday. It was I had credit. It was a $4 DVD. It was one of those deals where I was trying to get rid of my credit, and I was like, well, it's worth $4, worth trying it. I haven't watched it yet. I just got it recently. Lake Dead. Enjoyed this one. This is one DVD that Jordan told us to get, and it was fun, man. Last Shift. Another one that's super creepy. Flew under the radar. I bought it years ago, watched it once, and then sold it. Just remembering it was okay. Well, Jordan got it and loved it and wanted us to get it again, so I gave it another shot. And I really enjoyed it the second go around. So, and then we've got the Leprechaun collection, which we're going to be doing in March of next year. So we're going to start watching these. You get Leprechaun, Leprechaun 2 on the first disc, Leprechaun 3 and Leprechaun 4 in space on disc 2, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun Back to the Hood on disc 3, Leprechaun Origins on disc 4, and then I just recently picked up the new one, Leprechaun Returned, which I heard has some really good kills in it. I'm gonna save all those and watch them when we watch them together. Another Eli Roth movie, Knock Knock. I like this movie. Very flawed though, but I still think it's fun. Keanu Reeves is so bad in that movie, but it's done on purpose, you can tell. Krampus, big fan of Krampus. Well, I'm a big fan of Krampus, the monster on here. The rest of the movie, I just think the acting in it's just kind of whatever. Lights Out, very creepy, but the short is much scarier than the movie. Lost Boys, classic vampire flick. Would love to see that get a special treatment. Mama, that's very good too, man. It's one that nobody really talks about. I've always thought it was good. The Maniac remake with Elijah Wood, I liked it too. I think it's on Netflix. Then we got the 4K of Mayhem with Stephen Yen and Samara Weaving. Basically, it's a lot like what's it called? Belko Experiment. Got the Meg 4K. I liked Meg, man, but I just hate that they dumbed it down to PG-13 and they didn't make it a blood fest like they should have. Mom and Dad, batshit crazy movie about parents that kill their kids. Nicolas Cage. Monster Squad, one of my favorite movies of all time. I love it. Would love for it to get a special treatment. My Bloody Valentine DVD, which I'll be selling because it's getting a Scream Factory release, thank God. And then My Bloody Valentine 3D. Tony got this one for me. Appreciate it, brother. Then we got the same thing that was the Friday the 13th, like 2-disc set. This is the one for Nightmare on Elm Street. Another one you definitely need to get if you're a fan of horror movies. They go through each movie in depth. It's so great. And with that being said, we've got the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. It's in this crappy set, but it is what it is, man. You got Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1, and then you've got Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and 3 on disc 2, 4 and 5 on disc 3, Freddy's Dead and New Nightmare on disc 4, and then a bonus disc on disc 5. And then, of course, I showed you the remake in that 3-pack earlier. I got my only Criterion, Night of the Living Dead, the original. Me and Ivy both picked this up after we went and saw a movie. Look forward to checking it out. I got all the other ones, so I figured I'd get that one too. Then we've got a Warner Archive collection of Night School. I enjoyed Night School, man. It's kind of a slow burn, but I still enjoyed it. Then we've got the 4K of The Nun. I got this for $10 when it was on sale. It's not a good movie. I watched it a second time, and it's not good. Offerings. This one's so bad it's good. We loved Offerings. The policeman in this one is hilarious. That little walk he's got is just ridiculous. We've got Open Water 1 and 2. I need to find that third one as well. Good ocean movies. Then we've got the 2-pack of Ouija and a Ouija Origin of Evil. I think that the first Ouija was trash. The second one was terrifying to me though. I thought that was really good. We got Overlord 4K, really good movie. It's like a mixture of like, oh, it would be like a mixture of Resident Evil, like a war movie, kind of. Next up, we've got the original Pet Sematary on 4K. I like Pet Sematary. I'm not a huge fan. I don't own the remake. Kind of is what it is. But now we've got the Phantasm sequels. We got Phantasm 3. Got Phantasm 4 Oblivion. And we've got the dog shit that is Phantasm Ravager. Got the original Poltergeist. Look forward to that getting some kind of special treatment at some point. And we've got the Predator 3 movie collection on 4K. I don't have that new Predator. I wasn't a fan of it. You got Predator 1 and 2, and then you got Predators, and then it's the same thing on Blu-ray. And that's cool with me. The 2018 Predator, I'm not really a fan of. Prime Evil. Jordan said this is a fun like creature feature. It's like $6 with my discount. I gave it a shot. We'll watch it at some point. 4K of Puppet Master. The Littlest Reich. This movie's hilarious, and it's got some amazing kills in it. I got the 4K of Quiet Place. Masterpiece of a movie. Love it. Can't wait for the next one. The Relic. I believe this is out of print, maybe. It was a McKay's pickup. Had to replace the case on it because it was all busted up. Tom Sizemore. And these two movies I just love, man. And nobody ever talks about them. Rest Stop, Dead Ahead, and Rest Stop, Don't Look Back. I think they're both, I love the first one. The second one's okay. I look forward to watching these again. I loved them, man. Nobody talks about them ever either. We've got Revenge. This is shot really well. Very bloody. Very unrealistic though. But it is what it is. We've got The Ruins. I watched this once a long time ago. I need to rewatch it. Then I just rewatched this entire collection. That is the Saw collection. You know, this one, of course, you got Saw 1, 2 on disc 1, and then I don't know what this is saying. Oh, Saw, yeah. This is Saw 1. This is the first 7 Saw films, and then the 4K. I got a Jigsaw. After I rewatched them, I thought Jigsaw wasn't the worst one. I think Final Chapter is the worst one. It was terrible. Continuing on, we've got the Scream trilogy. It's the 5-disc set. You got Scream 1, 2, and 3, and then you got the Still Screaming and Scream Inside Story documentaries. And then I've got Scream 4. For me, it would be 1, 2, 4, 3. Got Kane, See No Evil, and See No Evil 2. These were McKay's pickups a couple weeks ago. They were dirt cheap, and I had credit, so I figured I'd give them a shot. And I got Shallows. It's the 4K, but I don't have the slip for it, so I just put the Blu-ray slip that I had for it. Really, really good movie. Blake Lively. I would drink her bathwater. We all know that. Shaun of the Dead. This is one of the only steelbooks that I have. I don't collect steelbooks anymore, but I've just had this one for a while, so it's still in my collection. I enjoy that movie. Then we got a region-free collection of some M. Night Shyamalan movies. We've got Sixth Sense. These are region-free. They'll play in any player. Signs and Unbreakable. I like Sixth Sense. I like Signs. Unbreakable's cool. Not a big fan of Unbreakable, but we got Sorority Row. This was a McKay's pickup for cheap. Looks like mid-2000s cheese. Southbound, outstanding anthology. Similar to VHS. Got a wraparound story. Really creepy, man. I liked it. Look forward to get a Blu-ray. Strangers Pray at Night. Again, there was parts of that movie that I really enjoyed, and then the ending ruined it. Yeah. The Suspiria remake. I still haven't sat down and watched this 3-hour movie. I just know it's going to be a long deal. Terrifier. Fucking awesome movie, man. Great gore. Can't wait for the second one. Then we've got the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, one of the greatest horror movies of all time. We're doing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise review that'll be up in the next couple of weeks on the channel. This 4-disc set is amazing. So many features. Then we've got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Huge fan of that. That edition is dog shit. Leatherface, the remake. Thought it was okay. You got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, which I enjoy. Leatherface, the original, do not like that one. I don't think that one's good. A lot of people do. I don't. But come on, Mahomes, what are you doing? Let's see what else we got. We're almost done, guys. Got Truth or Dare. Not really a good movie, man. It's all right. 13 Ghosts and House of Wax 2-pack. Big fan of both of those movies. Would love to see them get Scream Factories. Turbo Kid. Incredible movie. I don't know what to classify it as, though. It's insane. The gore in it's amazing. And then these are two more films that I love that nobody talks about. Unfriended and Unfriended Dark Web. I enjoy both of these. But nobody ever talks about them. Got the 4K of Us. I haven't watched this yet. I got it for dirt cheap. It was like $12 on Amazon. I price matched it. Got the 4K of Unsane. Fan of that one. It's a psychological thriller, though. Got VHS. Love VHS and VHS 2. Huge fan of both of those. VHS Viral is dog shit, though. Like, utter dog shit. And this is the end of my stuff. This is the last stack. Got The Visit. I'm a fan of The Visit, man. I mean, it's got some cheese parts to it. But M. Night Shyamalan's are hit or miss. I thought that one was good, though. Next up, we have When a Stranger Calls and Happy Birthday to Me. Happy Birthday to Me is not really good. When a Stranger Calls is creepy, though. That's why I got it. It was like a $3 pickup at Walmart or something. Then I got Winchester. It's really run-of-the-mill. It's a jump scare movie, man, honestly. Got Wolf. I haven't ever watched this one. This was one we got for free when we went on our trip at FYE. It was like $1 or something. It wasn't even free. It was close to free. Got The Woods Have Eyes. This was cool. This is another one that Jordan found. And then we've got the Wolf Cop, Wolf Pack, exclusive to Best Buy. It's just a 2-film collection. The first Wolf Cop is ridiculous. I haven't watched another Wolf Cop yet, but the first one is insane. Then we've got Wolf Creek. Big fan of this one. Would love to see it get a Blu-ray in the US. Got John Carpenter's The Ward. This was one that we picked up at McKay's. Haven't got a chance to watch it yet, but we will at some point. There's so many movies, man. Here's another one, a Wolf one. The Wolf Man. I got this for $5 at some random bookstore on one of our trips. The Woman in Black. The first one was cool, man. The second one was not good, but the first one I liked. Then we got the Wrong Turn 3-pack. You got Wrong Turn 1, 2, and 3 in this one. I'm a fan of Wrong Turn, and Wrong Turn 3. 2 is just okay. I haven't watched 4, 5, and 6. We're going to be doing these movies soon, too. There's Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings. You got Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines. And you got Wrong Turn 6, Last Resort. My last movie to show you guys in this horror haul is Zombieland. Look forward to the next one. It's coming out soon, man. So that is my entire horror movie collection. All of it. All of my boutique label stuff. Blu-rays, DVDs, 4Ks. 3 hours later. I don't even know if y'all made it to the end of this video. It's probably going to take you multiple watches, but I've had so many people message me or hit me up on YouTube, Facebook, and ask me to do a video of my horror collection. So I figured I'd go ahead and do it now. It's going to continuously grow. But yeah, y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and please do me a favor. Subscribe to the 3 channels in the description box: Triple Flix Mafia, Johnathan Ivey, and Slasher Junkie. Y'all be sure to have a wonderful day, night, whenever you're watching this. And I love you. Peace.